Today we are going to make an Arma 3 mission in less than 2 hours. We're gonna make a complete mission. I have nothing created right now. I'm gonna show you all the steps required to get from having absolutely nothing all the way through having a completed mission that you can play in multiplayer with your friends. I'm gonna give you a lot of steps along the way, a lot of hard-earned wisdom that I've gained after making dozens of missions, editing even more than that, and having some very popular missions on the workshop. My name is UselessFodder. I stream and play a lot of Arma 3 as well as other tactical shooters. My main focus, though, and what I really love to do is make awesome missions and mods and things like that for the community for these awesome tactical games and share them with you. If you're interested in that, please consider clicking the subscribe button on YouTube or following over on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. I mean, I'm on everything. UselessFodder. If it's UselessFodder, it's me. I promise you. If you go to almost any social media, any video making app, and you're like, I wonder if UselessFodder's there. Don't worry. With that though, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm here. I'm just about to boot up Arma 3. I've also got booted up my Notepad++. That's my preferred way to make scripts and things like that is with Notepad++. I know some people prefer other things. I've added in the language for SQF. I will put a thing down in the description if you're watching this on the VOD on how to install SQF functionality in your Notepad++, which gives you some autocomplete and just some basic, some basic setup. It's not an IDE, it's just a Notepad, but better, and that's what I prefer to use. But going back to we're going to launch Arma 3 here. First, we got to set up our actual mod list. So I'm not going to show you how to select a mod list for your community or anything like that. That's up to you guys to figure out. But I will show you that starting with a mod list, how I like to prepare my mod list for when I'm editing to avoid future problems. So first off, let's go ahead and load my community's the FoddSquad's official mod list from I have so many mod lists. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Where is it? FoddSquad official here, 2025 here. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to take out as many of these mods as I possibly can, and the reason why I want to do that is because sorry, my dog's barking like crazy in the background. Oh, they're playing with them. Okay, sorry, I thought somebody was attacking. What is Fod cooking today? I'm going to cook up something. So basically, the more mods that you have loaded when you're editing, the more likely you are to have some sort of weird error down the line that you can't troubleshoot. So by reducing the amount of mods to only the bare minimum content mods that you need will assist you in ensuring that your mission has the highest likelihood of running successfully the first time. So another consideration is if you want to share your mods on the workshop, or sorry, not your mods, if you want to share your mission on the workshop, then having fewer mods that have a dependency within your mission makes it much easier for people to play your mod. The best workshop missions all have the bare minimum of mods, just what they need for the content for that particular mission and nothing else. That includes stuff like Ace and things like that. You might use it in your community, but if you want to put up a multiplayer mission on the workshop and get people to play it, if you put Ace on there, I'd say about half the community will be mad about it because a lot of people don't like Ace. So there's just considerations that you have to have. Also, what's up, Polly? Spaghetti code, let's go. Spaghetti code al dente, I love it. Yeah, mod reduction, exactly. So here's our official FoddSquad list. I think it's got 30 mods in it total. First off, anything that's not a content mod, I don't really need in here. So for instance, Ace View, I don't need Special Core, which is going to get rid of these. I'm going to unload all of them because those are just mods for like animations and stuff like that. I don't need Anastasia mods. I'm not running that. I don't need Advanced Repelling. I don't need Enhanced Movement. I'm not going to need our FoddSquad patches. I will not be using a Global Op Terrain today, so I won't load that just in case. Don't need digital camera, don't need immersive SIGs. All of our LAM stuff, I'm not going to use any of the functionality from that, so I don't need it. Maximum we'll keep in. Military gear pack. So here's a perfect example. You have to make a decision. So there's content mods that give you stuff like new units and new vehicles and things like that. You probably want those loaded.
Have no fear.
Hey, Badger, thank you so much, man.
1 month streak as well.
Dude, that's awesome. 1 month as well. Thank you 1 month streak. Thank you so much. Can I get some love in chat, some patches, some emotes, please? In chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Badger. So there's content mods that give you like units and vehicles and stuff like that, maps, that sort of thing. You probably want those loaded. And then there's other mods that give you equipment and things like that. And that's where my personal belief is that you should try to have as few of those or down to 0 if possible. I love stuff like military gear pack for the players to be able, when they're playing, when you load it on the server, for them to have additional gear. But I want to have as few mods as possible loaded with the least, like, I'm not a big person, especially if we're going to try to get this done in 2 hours, to go in and hyper modify the loadouts of all the enemies. Maybe that's your thing, but that's not really what I'm looking to do. So for that reason, I'm going to take military gear pack just out, because I don't want, I don't want to accidentally create a dependency with that if I end up not using it, right? Task Force Arrowhead, we'll take that off. We have these Royal Australian Regiment. I could probably take that off because I'm not planning on using it for this particular mission, but when we load it on the server, obviously, then our Australian folks can use their favorite stuff. And then Zeus Enhanced, you can take this off. I like to keep it on because I use Zeus to do a lot of testing, so it's pretty good. So we went from 30 mods down to 10 mods. Basically, I got CBA. You definitely want to have CBA loaded. I've got my cups, because that's what we use. I'm going to leave Ace on because it makes... I know that I'm not going to show this on the workshop. It's just going to be internal to the community. So I'm going to keep Ace on. Community Faction Project is a content mod I need. Obviously, our maps, terrains. Max Women allows me to put female characters in there. And then Zeus Enhanced for troubleshooting. Now I'm going to add in... Hey, Badger, you don't need to apologize for subbing, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to add in some mods that I only load when I'm creating missions. So the first one, and the one that I absolutely recommend everyone add, is 3D Enhanced. This to me is one of the best mods ever made. It's still being updated. Last update was actually New Year's Eve. It adds so much enhanced capabilities within the 3D editor. Highly recommend that you have that one every time. Even if you don't normally use like Zeus in your missions, having a Zeus Enhance or something that allows you to get more Zeus functionality so you can troubleshoot your mission is helpful. Most of them don't create a dependency. And then going down, one that I really, really like having, it's not required by any means, but if you want to do anything for immersion in animations, you're going to grab Polpox's artwork supporter and base functions. My understanding is that they should not add any of your any dependencies on it. We'll check when we actually make it. But basically, it allows you, while you're in the editor, to look up all the animations that are possible and easily apply them to units. And that makes a big difference when you're trying to do something cool. And then lastly, if you want to add Vile HUD, it won't add any dependency, but that allows you to take good pictures of it if you want to share some pictures with your unit. About what you're trying to do. But that's basically it. That should be all I really need for my I got 13 mods loaded, and we should be good to go. So we're gonna go ahead and hit play. How's it going, nonprofit Plague Jade? I don't recognize the name. How you doing? I'm doing well. Why do I not? I feel like I should recognize that name. I'm doing well. We're learning how to do some Arma scripting tonight. Should be a good time. Let's see here. Sorry, clicking through just some other stuff. Okay, cool. Yeah, so feel free while we're going through this. Sorry to hit that microphone. Man, professional streamer. While we're going through, feel free to ask any of your questions. I'll try to answer questions as I can. Oh, Strider, okay. I don't know why I didn't recognize it. Probably because I haven't been streaming as much as I want to. This is our stream, so I kind of set it up to where I have like one stream a week going now. And in the second and fourth weeks of the month, we play on Saturdays. We play our big ops. That's when we do fun stuff for Arma. And then on the off weeks that we're not doing this big ops, I'm going to do stuff like this. Arma editing, maybe work on some modding, but also just like if I want to play some Helldivers and hang out with you guys, something like that. Maybe some Barony, something like that. That would be what we use this night, is kind of just a fun, chilled out community night. You can DM me during the stream if you want.
No fear,
whoa! Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Russian_Badger gifted 1 subscriptions to the community.
Thank you for gifting 1 subscriptions to the community, Badger. I appreciate that. Can we get some more love for our guy, Badger?
Sod is here.
Oh, is that another one?
_Russian_Badger gifted 1 subscriptions to the community.
Thank you so much, Russian Badger underscore gifting 1. Hey, we have a sub goal. We now have 10 subs. Sorry, I'm not used to these Twitch animations. I'm like, what is that? Thank you so much.
Dropping in.
Oh, thanks for the subscription on YouTube there, Barnes. I appreciate it very much. Yep. So we are. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Badger. I don't want to get too centric, but I really appreciate it. You hit your new sub goal. I did. I have 10 subs now. I think the most subs I've ever had was 60 at one point. That was pretty crazy. But that was when Twitch was all I was doing. Now my main focus has been YouTube. Okay, so obviously we load into Arma. Today I wanted to make something on Serrani, I'm thinking. Do we want to do just Southern? No, we'll do just regular Serrani. So here's what we're going to do today. Our mission for today is to create, in the next hour and 50 minutes or so, a hostage rescue mission. I want it to have 2 parts in it. I want there to be a part where the players have to go and find like an informant, or maybe like grab a bad guy and interrogate him to get the location of where hostages are, and then go to that spot and rescue the hostages in Exfil. So I want to start by talking about what every single mission in Arma needs. Now, this is kind of if you've ever done any sort of engineering or done anything that's tangential to that, there's this idea of decomposing problem sets into smaller problems so that you can better understand what each of the steps that you have to accomplish to solve something is, or to build something like that. So essentially, we're going to decompose very quickly Arma missions. We'll get something prettier to look at in the background. Isn't there a church in this one that's very pretty?
Reinforcements dropping in.
That's not a church. Hey, thanks, wise guy. I appreciate the follow. Oh, we'll get this awesome statue to look at. This Soviet-looking statue in the background while I talk. Okay, so every single Arma mission is going to need these things. It's going to need a starting place, some sort of place for players to get ready, get equipment, that sort of stuff. Now, your op may not have like a multiplayer component. It may not have that sort of like sitting there doing nothing, but does need to be a spot where players will land when they load in to the mission. Okay, so that's going to be, we're going to call that like the base, right? You're going to need something like that to load in and be somewhere. For all of our multiplayer missions, that's going to have arsenals and stuff like that for us to begin. Now, every mission is going to need the ability for the players to get to the mission, usually an infill situation, but to get to whatever the first objective is. And that might be as simple as it's just a cutscene and then they're at the place. You know, you loaded them in somewhere, you ran a cutscene, and then they were at the place. But it could also be a helicopter infill. You could give them vehicles. There's a lot of options for how you want to do that. But they have to have some way. So that's 2 here. Have to have some way to get to the mission, and then there has to be an actual objective, right? Some sort of something that players are going to go experience. Usually solving a problem, almost always fighting something. But you're giving action to the players to accomplish something somewhere. And then you need the ability for the players to complete that mission in some way. So your mission might be as simple as your players started a base, they get in a car, they drive somewhere, they kill some guys, they find some intel, roll credits, right? But that there has to be some ending criteria for that. So that's only 4 steps in the entire thing. That end might be an exfil to a location, and there might be like a debrief. It could be complex. That's only 4 steps really in the whole mission. It's have somewhere for players to land when they load in, have a way for players to get to their mission, have a mission for them to do, and then have a way for them to complete that mission, and usually exfil or something like that. All you have to do is accomplish those 4 steps during your mission. That is what we're going to call the minimum viable product that we're going to be creating. I always recommend that you create the absolute minimum of what your dream of the op is first, and then add detail later. Because if you simply, it's very easy to be like, oh man, I want to do this cool thing, and you're going to go to this place and all this cool stuff's going to happen while you're there. And then you spend 10 hours working all the little intricacies to get all the scripts and everything working in this one spot. And then you realize that it's 2 o'clock in the morning, the day before the op's supposed to happen. And oh crap, I don't have player slots. I don't have the arsenal set up. I don't have a way for them to get in and out. If you don't do the baseline of getting those 4 steps workable, you will probably end up with a mission that doesn't actually function, let alone if not leaving yourself enough time to test. So we're going to build the minimum viable product first, and then we're going to step through adding in additional detail, adding in additional functionality. So when I say that I want to have 2 objectives where you go somewhere, get information from a guy, and then you find out where the hostages are, and then you go rescue them, I'm going to build the hostage rescue first. That way, if I run out of time, I at least have a hostage rescue mission. Maybe I didn't get my full goal, but I'll have something that I can play with the players. Okay, does that make sense? So let's go first. What I like to do is I like to find where our op area is first, and then from there look into where I want to put the player's base. I have a dream of today using unit capture and doing a cool infill, but I'm not sure if we're going to accomplish that in such a short time. So you guys know Serrani. If you played it once, you played it a million times. I love Serrani. I think it's a really cool map. Or do the Hoodle strat, do all the set dressing and building first, but just start 6 months before the op is scheduled. Dude, that's true. I don't know how he does it. I can barely schedule my life a week in advance. This is kind of a cool area. Oh, these buildings aren't enterable though, are they? Yeah. Arma 2 building, strike again. None of these are enterable. That's one of the issues with Serrani. There's a lot of buildings that you can't. This one's enterable. This one is not enterable. This one you can get on top though, I think. Is there an external? No. So this would be a cool area, but for a hostage rescue, you definitely want to have some buildings that you can get in. Ooh. What if they're keeping the hostages in this building? That's kind of cool. It's kind of exposed in the middle of a town, but it's kind of a cool little hiding location. I don't know. So what's that? That's that top building in Dolores. That's kind of cool. I also like these buildings. I don't think you could enter into them except for, yeah, these little entryways here. But I like how it creates a little courtyard, which is kind of fun. But I don't think it matches the need for what we're doing today. What else? These are always nice because I think these are enterable buildings. So just having like one of these things. I'm trying to decide if I want to do it in a city or if I want it to be like a location that's outside the city. Because if it's inside the city, then you have to work with civilian presence modules and stuff like that. Nothing wrong with it, but you kind of get the sense that bad guys usually be holding him in a place like this, right? That they control totally. Oh, dude, I know that big ass hotel. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm not messing with that today because it requires too much work for us to really set up correctly. This is the office. I don't want to do a huge building. Then there's a town of Arcadia. I don't know why. I'm just loving the idea of that, like, burned down building. We did an op here before. If you guys remember, we attacked this, but we made it a lot bigger. Should I have looked at this beforehand? Probably. Did Fodder do that? No, he didn't at all. This is an enterable building. It doesn't have much to it, if I recall, though. It's just, it's just a hallway. And then, that doesn't really work. But doing something in Serrani where it's like one of these buildings in one of these smaller towns would be workable. The office building and the courtyard here. What do you guys think? Are we thinking that we like that big burnout building? I don't know why, but that one like speaks to me a little bit. Could also do like I said, a much smaller town, like one of these. That the bad guys just have like this whole courtyard. That's not a bad idea either. Gaula could work. Everon, I know what you're naming after. Or like one of these little compounds, right? Like having them in a compound's always good because then you get a sense like the bad guys can just be in this and maybe patrolling around, and then you have like a few civilians or something just hanging out, but you don't have to do like a ton of life. Actually, this isn't a bad idea. Is everyone near anywhere else that would be fun to fight at for our other purposes? We could say like, no, because that's just right down the road, right? Yeah, that's a little bit much. I like the idea of... Oh, what's this one? I don't remember this one. Oh, yeah. I like the idea of the one of them being in like a city, or like not a city, but like a bigger place. But you know, like I said, that does add in some issues. Okay, we're not going to use too much time on this because the whole point is to learn how to do it, not to make the perfect thing. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. This has kind of a burnout look to it, which is kind of nice, but I don't think we have any good enterable buildings. This one, no. This is the one that you can enter, and it has full rooms. This wouldn't be too bad to have it up here and have like bad guys hanging out here. Okay, this is workable. It's kind of secluded, which is nice. Is there... You know what? I'm just gonna put my foot down and say this is the spot. So we're gonna say that Hunapu, is that how you pronounce that? It's where our hostages are going to be. So we are going to be playing as Blue 4. Let's go ahead and I like to use as many of the base factions as possible because I don't think it really matters that much to the players because they're going to change all their own equipment, but their buddies it will matter. So let's go ahead and grab some U.S. Army, Jungle Woodland, men in OCP, and get this. Or do they have survivors in here? I don't think they do for this one. Yeah, so we'll have to grab just a basic dude. Where's my rifleman? Okay, so we're going to place down the hostages first because those are our objectives, and we want to make sure the objectives are down first, right? Frontline defense on proving ground. That makes sense. Sorry. But we're making a hostage rescue mission tonight. That's what we're going to make tonight. I've already made that decision because there's some fun stuff that we can do. So we're going to put, we'll say, one hostage here. And we're going to go in and using the excellent 3D Enhance, we're going to be able to go and edit his loadout using the Ace Arsenal. I guess that was an Ace thing. We're going to take away his weapon. We're going to take away his helmet. Well, that was loaded weird. We're going to take away his vest. His secondary. No launcher. We're going to take off, obviously, his night viz. Okay, and then... Why does he have those knee pads? Those knee pads are weirding me out. Oh, that's Why are they all knee padded? I just want regular gloves this week. Okay, cool. So we'll do that. Okay, so now we got our boy. And if we hit Control C or we right click him and we I think you right click and copy. Yeah, we go copy. Then we can paste a few of them around. So we can right click and go paste, and we'll make new ones, right? So we're gonna put a couple in these rooms up here. Okay. Oh yeah, no problem, Badger. And then we'll put a couple down here. This room has a weird thing in the side, so we don't want to draw attention to that. So we'll do this, and then I want to make at least one of these guys. Nope, sorry, wrong arsenal. Yeah, virtual arsenal. Should be able to change face. Taking lots of time. I thought I could change faces in this one. Can I not? I'm trying to remember for our max women. I believe that those are those units? Oh, they're units. Okay. So we'll have at least one female unit here. And we will edit the loadout. Same things before, taking off all of her stuff. Nothing. Empty. Take these off. Cool, and vest off. Cool. Is that empty vest? Is that just what her clothes just have a vest? Oh no, I was in the wrong thing. I was on backpack. Okay, and then I want to make sure she doesn't have any grenades on her. Chem lights. Yeah, she has grenades. That's one thing that's always dicey with these, and I probably should check the other guys too. It's oftentimes that they have grenades in their pockets. So you start the mission, the first thing you do is throw a grenade. Dude, it happens all the time. Cool. So there's her. And we will also go to this guy and make sure he doesn't have anything in his pockets. Grenade-wise, we'll go sort by amount. He has a smoke grenade. Sure, why not? Yeah, but it looks like these guys didn't have it. Okay, cool. So we have double click and go to identity. You're right. Right here. Say change face. Thank you. I couldn't remember. Okay. Cool. So we have our hostages that we've found a location for here in Hanapu. And we have them on the ground. So they have no weapons, but right now, if we were to start, they would immediately run away, right? So first thing we have to do is, oh, that's not what I want. Unlink these guys. With 3D enhanced, you have this excellent ability to double click. And rather than having to run a something in the init field to take away their ability to do stuff in AI, there's just a little drop down here. So we go to AI and we remove their ability to path. Okay. So all that does is it basically means that now this AI doesn't have the ability to create a path, so he can't run. He can take any other animation. He can do anything else. If he had a gun, he could shoot it. He just can't move from where he's at. We're going to use and abuse that a ton to put enemies in places that are interesting and make it to where they don't run out. But you see how I did that on just one guy, right? But if I want to, I can select all of my units and I can right click them and go to attributes and go down to the AI tab here. And for all of them, because there are differences in them, I have to select this one first, but I will just select the path is now disabled for all of them. So I can check that by going to this guy, and we can close the init field. We can close all of these fields, and you can see that he does in fact have his pathing disabled. So now I know that they won't run away. They'll stay exactly where they're at. Now they'll lay on the ground, but we're gonna fix that in just a second by putting them in a certain animation. Now the last thing I need for them to do is I need them to also not be attacked by the enemies that are going to be near them. To do that, I will grab, it's not an ace option, it is special states, I believe. Yeah, make hostage. Makes the unit a hostage and adds the free hostage action. This is absolutely the easiest way to do hostage stuff, is by just clicking this. Because it basically puts them in captive mode and makes them immediately take an animation. But we're going to do a little bit more than that. We're just going to put them in captive mode. Basically what this does is it, and I haven't all selected right yet. Basically what this does is it means that the AI will not target them as part of, when they're looking around. They won't see them as enemies, they'll see them as civilians. So they'll be technically on civilian side. Okay, so now they are all captive and they can't move. They can still stand, move, lay down, turn, everything like that, and that's fine. We will leave that as it is. But the last thing that we have to do is we have to then put in action now, like that free action, free hostage action that we were talking about before. Now we have to add that action ourselves. Luckily, 3D Enhanced also has us there. Rather than faffing about in the init field with this, we can just add a hold action using this hold action drop down. Now you can look up on the Wiki how hold actions work. This is by far the easiest way to do it. So we're going to go free hostage. We can change the icon to whatever we want. We're just going to leave it the default like medic icon. It's kind of hard to see him on here. It makes me a little mad. Condition show true. Okay. And then what we want to do is when the code is complete, so after they've held down the free action long enough, we need it to do something. So this is where we're going to go over and we're going to grab ourselves the Wiki, Arma 3 Wiki. That's the community wiki, and we are going to look up disable AI. Oh, sorry, you can't see it. Hang on. We'll go back. And I need to... There you go, cool. So here we are at the Wiki. We're going to search disable AI here in the top right, and we're going to be brought to disable AI. I'm not going to explain everything about every script because we're trying to finish making a mission. But the main things to look at when you do this is make sure that you understand the difference between a local argument and a global argument. Local argument means wherever the unit or object is stored, it only has access to that information. It can't. It doesn't. So that will pull from everyone. And then the global effect versus local effect. In multiplayer, this really matters a lot. Global effect means that everyone will see the effect every time you do it. So when we enable or disable AI, everyone will see it equally. Local effect means that only the local player that you ran that code on will be able to see that action. This really matters for things like if you play an animation or if you show or hide a unit. Those are all local effects, so you can have an issue where you're being attacked by invisible units. It's definitely happened during our ops before. Hey, Elias, how's it going? So we're gonna look at disable AI, and yeah, it is just enable AI. I couldn't remember if it was enable AI or what. So we are going to look at, it's gonna be unit enable AI skill type. So what we're going to do is when you finish the free hostage, we are going to, in this code complete, meaning that once they finish the holding it for the duration, which we'll set to 5 seconds here, then we will run this code. Rather than putting it straight in here, I just wanted to look at these params that are passed in: target, caller, action ID, and arguments. Okay, so this is going to be the target. Yep, this is going to be the target. So what I like to do then is go in here to my notepad and work all this in there so I can easily copy and paste it in. I'll make this a little bigger for you guys. So the unit that we're going to enable the pathing on is going to be target, because we saw that here in the code complete box. It gave me, sorry, it takes so long to switch. That target was one of the parameters. Okay, so it's going to enable the AI, and the skill type here is, if I remember correctly, path, but we can look that up when we go, or sorry, wrong window. When we go to the Bicky, if we go to disable AI, it should say exactly what it is. Path being the one that we want. Right here, sorry, I'll make that a little bigger. Path is the one that we want. So going back there, we are now going to re-enable the AI for him to path, or her to path. And then we're going to add them to the group of the person who called that. Basically, they're joining your squad. I find that's the easiest to handle it. If you're using Ace, of course, you can zip cuff them and then move them around. But the one thing that I always worry about is that if the players don't remember to zip cuff them and you just free them, then inevitably you get the AI who's freaked out and just runs off in the woods, and then the players spend 15 minutes chasing, and we don't want to do that. So we're going to then do target join silent. We'll look up join silent. Join silent. Yep, it should be, oh, the targets, that's right, or the units that are going to join. So it has to be in this thing here. It has to be inside an array. So just one, join silent, and then what the group. So here we have to get the group of, I think it's group caller, I think is what it's going to be. Let's look up. Yeah, group player, group caller, that should be the one. So now when you hold that, it should have the person that you called this on join your group, or join the group of whoever freed them. So we can actually test that really, really quickly. So looks good to go. Do we get an error? No error yet. Okay, and then we are going to give ourselves a testing unit. That'll just be this ammo bearer here. Don't want you in the same unit right now. Okay, and this is the player. So we'll do a little bit of testing. Are our hostages freeable? Mind you, we could just use the hostage thing that exists within E3 Advanced, but we're doing our own thing. In brackets, that's right. Okay, so we see we have our hostages in there. Wow, that's a little far to see that. I don't know if I can change that right now, but we'll go in here. Okay. So I'm going to hold to free the hostage, right? He's just looking at me like, what's up? He's just standing there menacingly. Okay, now he can move, and he should... Oh, did he join our unit? Doesn't look like he joined our unit. Did he? Oh, yeah, he did.
On the way.
I don't know why I don't have the unit thing down below.
On the way.
But now he's joined our unit.
Ready.
And of course, maybe we don't want join silent, maybe we want join. Well, I can do that with all these guys. And gals, we should say. So... Cool, okay. And they all join my unit, but they can't do anything prior to that. They can... Oh, I didn't want to shoot him in the head. I should have shot him in the leg. They can, like, take a knee and lay down and stuff like that, but... That's weird. I guess he's not scared. But I can free him now. And yeah, we're good to go. So now we have freeable hostages. So remember we said we need to have... Oh, push me. Okay, jeez. Remember how I said that we needed to have an objective? We have an objective now. It's not a very exciting objective, but we have an objective. We have completed one of the 4 things that we need to have a playable mission. And we just did it in what? 10 minutes? 15 minutes? And we did it custom too. Now I want to look and see if I can adjust the distance on that. I don't remember if that's within the hold event thing here. Yeah, unfortunately it's not configurable on that. Let's change this to join so that everyone, when this happens, they understand that the unit joined them. So let's go join. I think it's just join. Let me look. Join. Yeah, it just joins any group, and it's a unit array again. Yep. So it's weird. It should require not brackets. It should require parentheses. We're gonna do parentheses because I'm pretty sure that's the more normal way to do it. So we will copy that. We will ensure that we have all of our dudes, all of our mans here selected. Go to attributes, and then we'll put that in the. Cool. Now we can free all of our hostages. Excellent. So thus far, nothing's broken, nothing's wrong. Now we want to make this a little spicier, so we need to. Oh, we're just gonna delete our test guy here. Actually, no, we are going to Control Z that, and we're gonna put him just over here. So we're gonna put him up here, and then we're gonna do what I meant to do right up front. First thing I meant to do is add a game master, because that's gonna help us troubleshoot. So I went to modules, Zeus, game master. I'm gonna double click it. For owner, I'm gonna put %admin logged. That's my unit. Is always gonna the person in the admin slot's gonna always have access to Zeus in every single mission. It's actually a requirement when you make a mission to add Zeus. And then for add-ons, we're gonna do all add-ons. There we go. Cool. So now we have a Zeus icon, and we'll move that later. So we have this objective. We could put some enemies down, but actually, what I really want to do now is I want to go backwards and say, okay, if I have an objective, because I can just throw enemies, like a couple random groups of enemies in there if I run out of time. So rather than making fancy enemy setup right now, what else do I need to do? I need to have a place for players to land. I need to have an infill and a way to end it. So we want to use an exfil for this. Okay, so that means I need to figure out a base. Okay, so let's go ahead and find a nice spot for a base. I didn't think it was 4. Do we want to go here to this? Nah, we won't use that. I don't remember the islands that well, or this particular map this well to be able to do that. So, should we go to Pita? I like to use airstrips. They're usually one of the easiest ones to use, just because they tend to have military-looking buildings. No control over action range. Oh yeah, it's way better to write your own actions if you've got the stomach for it. Cool. So we'll. This is kind of far away. Is there anything a little bit closer? Well, I wanted to use a unit action or a unit capture anyway, so this might be a good opportunity to do that. Like I said, airports are great. Any sort of airport usually has military-looking buildings. It's an excuse to have any kind of vehicle you want. That's all good to go. So let's grab our. We'll just delete our ammo bearer. So we have an objective. Now we need to set up where the players land. That's going to include player slots. If you want to give them access to arsenal, if you want to give them access to vehicles, all that sort of stuff has to exist somewhere. So why don't we have it exist here? So that's our next objective. So we're going to go in here. And like I said, I like to just grab baseline units. So we will go ahead and grab, in fact, just to make this easy on ourselves, we're even going to use a pre-made squad. We're going to grab the, 76 Rangers, and we're going to grab a rifle squad. And we're going to make these all players, or playable. Cool. So we got squad leader, 2 automatic riflemen, 2 grenadier, 2 riflemen, 2 team leaders. I'm going to change that to turn one of the automatic riflemen into a medic. Where's medic? Okay, I like every squad having their own medic. And one of the team leaders will be turned into a we'll put engineer. Okay, and then one of our grenadiers will be AT. Anti-tank. I think it's Rifleman AT is what they call it. With the Carl Gustav. Yep, cool. Excellent. Cool. So now we've got Ranger stuff. I like to make it look a little bit neater before I copy them. So I like to grab the squad leader looking towards them. We'll grab the team leader, be directly in front of him. This is just a personal thing, but just like how I like to run it. I don't know why. And then from there, do all this. Make them look kind of nice when they start out. It also makes them a little bit easier to copy and paste. Who am I missing? Medic. Is it only a 9-man squad, really? I guess two 4-man teams and a squad lead. Interesting. So we'll go whoop, and move the engineer back. Cool. Excellent. So we have our squad. We want to make them playable. So we will select them all here. Right click them, go to attributes. Under object control, we go playable. Boop. No problem. I keep grabbing for my water. I moved my water from where it was, and I keep grabbing for it. Okay. Nope. Enter just does whatever you last selected, not necessarily clicks OK. Huzzah! Cool. And then I like to give a custom role description for. Actually, no, they're all pretty good. We'll change. Yeah, we'll just leave them. We'll leave them as is. This isn't something that has to be fixed yet. Cool. So we got our first squad here, right? So for my community, I say that they have to have a minimum possible player amount of, what do we say, 16? Do we say that was the minimum that you can do? But that we should align our missions to be between 8 and 12 players. That's what we usually get. So if we have 9 people here, that means I'm going to copy and paste. 2 squads will be enough. But, you know, there's always more roles, right? So we're going to need to grab one of the squad leaders. And we're going to... Actually, no, we'll just grab a separate... Hey, how's it going, Grim? He heard 75th Ranger Regiment, and he's like, wait, I'm in. I literally just... It's just funny to me that you showed up when I just put down some of the Cup US Ranger guys. I don't know why that really cracks me up. How's it going, Grim? We're creating a hostage rescue mission. We're making it in less than 2 hours. So I should have put a timer up now that I think about it. I know roughly when we started. So we need to grab a some sort of officer. And I like the officer to have a second in command. So I think that we had... I guess this particular setup for 75th doesn't have officers. Am I misreading it? I thought it did. No, it's fine. We'll just take a squad leader. Set him here. He will be the player for what we're doing. Yep. And then he will have a role description of... we'll just put commanding officer. Why not? It's not Doctrine. That's okay. Yeah, your ears were itching there, Grim. Okay, and then I always like to give him a second in command. Usually that's like a medic. It usually helps, or like a special thing. If you need an AA guy, if you need something like that, always good to go. So we'll give him something like that, and that will be. We'll call this to be. I mean, whatever. We'll call it company medic. Label. Cool. Okay. So in total, I believe we have 20 player slots possible. We won't get that many players when we play this, but it's all ready to go. So now we have a spot that when you start the game, they will land here, okay? I'm going to quickly turn it to the time that I want the op to happen, which is going to be sort of... as we start, it's going to be kind of like emerging dusk. But by the time we finish, by the time you're actually taking actions, it's going to be nighttime. Nighttime ops are always kind of fun. They're just headless chickens, exactly. They don't have an officer at all. Squad leads enough. NCOs lead the way. So what we need to do is we need to grab. I like to use arsenals so that my folks can do their own stuff. I will say this is a good point to say this. Creating bases and creating little like object object clusters in bases as reusable compositions, highly recommended. I have a goal of sometime over the next month creating a few compositions that are just like right out of the, all you gotta do is click one button and you have a base set up for your op. And it'll have a few different varieties, everything from a small camp all the way up to a fob, and have all the objects already have arsenals on them, have all the stuff that you could need right out of the box, and then put that on the Patreon, so that if people want to grab those, they can just go to the Patreon page and pull them off of there as a way to like entice people to go there. But put in some work, put in a few hours just making those. I don't have them yet though, so what I always do is I go to props and I search FIA, because I like this this set of ammo crates. You can see there's like the supply box, weapon cache, and ammo cache. So I usually do a few weapons caches, and then I have a little is this gonna be safe for stream? Yeah, okay, cool. That was a little dicey. I probably should have checked if it was safe for stream before I clicked on it. I have a scripts folder in my MP missions, and in this scripts folder I just have stuff that I reuse a lot. So we're gonna grab this arsenals thing. If you're watching on the VOD, you can pause it here and you can copy and paste these. This will basically give you a BI arsenal, like a scroll wheel arsenal, as well as an ace arsenal if you use ace. These are safe to put. You can put ace arsenal scripts on objects even if you end up not using ace, even if it's not a requirement. It doesn't build a dependency. What it does is it tries to run that. It will give an error on the server if ace isn't loaded. But what that means is, like, let's say I'm making a mission and I might have players playing with ace, or I might have them not playing with ace. I always put both, because by putting both, it allows players that are playing ace to still use their ace even without that being a requirement. I don't know if that makes sense, but that one of the things that you pick up when you're making missions for groups that you don't know. Got my whole respawn Zeus module set up as a composition. Yeah, it's way better. That's what I really should have done before I started this, but it is what it is. Go to the init field. So we take those things that we had, put in the init field, and we click OK. This is now an arsenal. I like to put a few arsenals around, but change each of them to look slightly different. So this is a ammo cache here. Okay. And you don't want to put them all right next to each other, because eventually players will all just bunch up near them, right? So we'll put one over here as well, and we'll make this the FIA. What was it called? Oh, it's supply box with this one. Supply box. And then, does it matter? No, but it's gonna grab FIA. Cool. And they should all have that. Or separately, I could have dropped these down and then selected all of them and put that in the init box the same way I did before. Cool, so now we have arsenals. So now the players have a way to drop in, and they have arsenals that they can grab stuff. If there's a possibility of it being night, that means that we need to add lights. This doesn't sound like a sort of thing that you would have to worry about right up front, but trust me, you're gonna want to remember to do it. So I like to use portable lights. I think they look the best. You always drag it away from the spot that you want them to light up. For some reason, they set it up that way. I don't know why. So we're just copying and pasting, putting a few of these around. And then we'll put one here looking out towards this way. Excellent. Cool. Doing great so far. It's always not a bad idea to have a whiteboard. It's got like maps and stuff on it. I don't know why it looks cool. We'll put the Malden one here. And then just a little bit of dressing. We'll grab a table with a laptop. These are all just props I'm just grabbing. Laptop open. We'll put it on here. And then we'll put a satellite antenna. I don't know why, but this is my fave. Do that and then put a satellite antenna like this. Cool. Excellent. Ta-da! So now we have a starting area. You can get equipment. You can do all that. Now, go get a torch in the box. What's the box? I can't see a thing. Dude, exactly. It's so common to just forget that you have to add all those things. Cool. And then just to test, we can put it at perfect night and then load in and see if we can see everything we need to see. Look at how dark it is. But I can see that. I can see that. I can really see that one. We'll put another one facing outwards here, because that's where our helicopters are going to be. Good to go. Cool. Back to editor. Now, we're going to make it daytime again. By the way, one thing that took me, like, I literally had been making missions for years before I realized this. Hey, if you hit L, it creates a light in the editor so you can see what you're doing. Just thought I'd say that. There's also a button you can click up here. Just, I don't know. If you're like me where you make missions for years and you like make everything during the daytime and then forget to change it to night because you couldn't see anything. And you didn't want to do it all on night viz, which is with N. Yeah, you just hit L and it just creates a light. Just so you know. Yeah, the Zeus modules and all that sort of stuff is really smart. Speaking of which, we'll grab our Zeus module that we created. And I like to put all of my modules I like to put right here. So we are going to set this up. Talking about respawns. Respawns are a necessity. I recommend putting respawns very early on in your stuff, because once again, what always ends up happening is you get to the very end and you're trying to do 15 things in like 5 minutes right before the op starts. The thing you're gonna forget is the respawn. You're gonna forget to put down a respawn and forget to set up the respawn. If you're smart, you would have all the your favorite respawn settings in the description.ext file, and you just copy and paste it into every mission. But we'll set it up here because I think that that's the best way to learn. But to do that, we'll go ahead and go, I'm just going to put respawn position right here with the module. I like the module. We're going to name it FOB, sure. Type infantry side, you want to put that blue for because we're blue for. Show to everyone notification enabled. Cool. So we have a respawn. Here's another thing that I like to do. I really, really like to add respawns that allow players to respawn on their squad leader, because in our chill sim group that we play in, having somebody have to get reinserted or get teleported back in or whatever ends up being a huge pain in the ass while you're in the middle of it. So to do that, we can take a respawn, we can drop a respawn position, and all we gotta do is sync it to a squad leader. And then rename it. We'll call this, this is the second team, right? Was this team 2? That's Alpha 1-6. We'll call it, I don't know, Squad 2. Cool. And then copy, paste it over at Squad 1, same sort of thing, sync 2. Oh, yeah, we gotta also set these as blue 4. One. And then to be really tricky, we can copy and paste it and also do one for the commander. So this is going to allow everyone to respawn there, but this just makes it during gameplay so much easier. You're out, somebody falls off of something, gets run over, randomly dies. They have a way to respawn right back into the battle. Respawn on radio, man, that's a great way to do it. Jackie. What do we got cooking? Dosko, we're working on a hostage rescue op. I'm going to put this back to daytime just because I don't want to use the light right now. But know that we have the light. Okay. So now, when somebody dies, they have the option to respawn on squad leaders or on the commander. They call it, yeah, commander. So that's good. What's next? We have that, but we haven't set up the actual respawn system. So we go up here to attributes, multiplayer, and respawn is currently set to disabled. We want respawn on custom position. We want to select respawn position, and the respawn delay we want to change to some amount of seconds. The longer you make this, the more of a pain it is to die, but I haven't noticed players acting any different when they have a 2-minute respawn versus a 15-second respawn. If you have a 1-second respawn or something where it's like almost immediate, yeah, I could see that, but I haven't really noticed anything like that. And then we don't want to have anything else. We don't want to make any other changes. Yep. Allow manual respawn allows people to commit suicide and immediately respawn. And then there's this save loadout thing, which is really cool for 3D editor if you are playing in an op, or if you're making an op where the player's equipment is set, they don't have the ability to go in an arsenal. This checkbox is so nice because it does a bunch of work for you. But since because what it does is when a player dies and they respawn, it automatically gives them the starting equipment that you set them with when you created the mission. The problem is that starting equipment doesn't update based upon what people actually use in the editor. So I have a custom script that I wrote that basically every time you close the edit or close the arsenal, it saves your loadout, so that when you respawn, you'll respawn with whatever you had when you close the arsenal. So it basically does the same thing, but it's more customized. But if you set your player stuff, like if you're creating a mission where they just have it, thank you, Jack, I appreciate it. Then you definitely want to use this. And then we're gonna disable AI, and we'll set the rest of this stuff later. Don't do revive mode unless you're planning on not using ACE, which we are going to be using ACE during our mission. So respawn system setup. So going back to our 4 things, right? We have to have a place for players to land and get set up for the mission, a way for them to get to the mission area, usually some sort of infill situation, a mission for them to do, and a way for them to end the mission, usually some sort of exfil. Okay? We have created the bare minimum viable product of a mission. There are some people out there that you can go find, and we now have a base for them to land at. So the next thing that we have to make sure that we have is the ability to get to the mission area and the ability for them to end the mission, which we're going to do infill and exfil. So the easiest way as a mission maker to do this is to create a pilot slot or a driver slot and say, players, you got to get to the mission, to the infill area yourself. But I really want you to think about every single position you make needs to be fun for the entirety of the game. Maybe some people like just orbiting in a Black Hawk the whole mission, but I know I don't. The second easiest way to do things, and I should have said this at the start, is to just game master it all, to actually just Zeus it. The point of what we're making here is that I like to play, I don't like to Zeus ops like this. Part of it's because I'm doing streaming, and I don't think that streaming, despite what Lance Corporal Leroux does, he's a very talented individual, I don't think that Zeusing is that exciting to watch as a player personally. I like to watch people who are actually playing the game. So I want to set up all my ops to where, aside from fixing things that get a little armored up, the mission runs itself. Some missions, there's enough moving of people that a pilot slot's warranted. This one, I don't think it's going to be. So we're going to set up an ability for the players to get infilled automatically by the actual by the mission itself. So we're going to do that. We're going to go ahead and grab the... Man, I wish it didn't automatically go to 2025 NATO. We're going to grow... I think the Rangers actually had their own helicopters. Yeah. We're going to go, and because we have this number of players, we are going to set... I believe we can't even fit them all in a Blackhawk, if I recall. If we had everyone, we can't fit them in a Blackhawk, I don't believe. Why am I forgetting what it is? It should be the MH60... Or, sorry, UH60. I don't know what is FFB? Oh, yeah. Remember that. Cool. So we can test how many of our players we can actually fit in here. There's no way we're getting 20 players, but let's say we somehow got every single player. We just grab and try to drag them inside. And it looks like we are short, 7 slots with all the people we have here. Now, we could leave gunner slots that we could do some stuff to try to fit more people in. But instead of doing that, we'll just have 2 helicopters. I kind of had an idea that would be fun for this mission to do some fast roping. I really like the idea of the players using the fast roping system, or just using like a what's it called? Advanced rappelling or something like that. I always thought that would be really fun. So we're actually not going to put these over here. We're going to put them over yonder. We're going to face it this way, and we're going to copy and paste it. Now I'm going to make these helicopters have a respawn point, because inevitably, if I don't do it, they will explode. So helicopter, vehicle respawn right here in the middle, and you just sync it to every vehicle that you want to be able to respawn there. And what that means is if we do position they spawn at, starting position. Okay. Delay, we'll go ahead and put 60 seconds. And we are going to put, you can do a bunch of other stuff, but we're going to do wreck will delete with explosion, and a notification will occur. We also need to then go to our objects, props, and get helipads. And we're going to grab just the basic H helipads. These are actually vital for AI to be able to land. Oh, I'm not trying to put it in. Jeez, that actually scared me a little bit. Oh, it's going to do it again. Sorry. Oh, it's not going to do it again? AI will try to land on helipads above all else. Hey, I'm doing great, Kate. How's it going? On late? Kinda. It's only 9, though. It's not too bad. Chinooks are fun. You can fast warp from. Yeah, I thought about a Chinook. I might still do a Chinook. We might change this, but for now, we're gonna do this. Okay. Another option is you can always make your helicopters invincible as well, by the way. And then we now have 2 helicopters that can actually, take the players to where they need to go. I had in my mind, if I wanted to do a fast roping, the fast rope system, like the Ace fast rope, what are they called, waypoints, I found always put you too high. It's like they expect you to have 50-meter ropes, because your 36-meter rope always ends up with you falling and breaking your legs every time. I don't know if I was just like, it was a skill issue with me, but I could not get them to work when I was testing. So what I want to do is I want to use unit capture to basically fly the helicopters myself, if that makes sense, and then have them land, or not land, have them do some cool stuff for the fast roping system. So to do that, what we have to do, so I should say, unit capture, essentially what it does is it detects all of your all of the motions of either an object, a vehicle, or a unit. It takes little snippets of time, and it detects how they move, and it records it in this huge block of data. And then you can use a script to play back that data, and the unit will do exactly what you did when you were doing unit capture. It's really, really cool. Does it work on multiplayer now? I thought it always worked on multiplayer. Hang on. Is that a concern? I've never used it, but I thought it always used to. Because if it doesn't work, then we won't even mess with it. It's kind of finicky and kind of a pain in the butt. Unit capture, records movement. I've not heard of this not working in multiplayer. Now you've got me scared. I've never heard that before, that it's... But that being said, it doesn't have a global argument, local argument, anything like that. So that makes me concerned. Maybe I won't mess with that. Maybe we'll just use the other system, which is just as good. One thing I was thinking is that, so if we want to, we can actually test right now how long it takes to fly somewhere. Come on, oh my gosh, can I please select the, okay, whatever, I'll do it this way. We can test how long it's going to actually take to get somewhere. I find that I don't like when players are just sitting around for super long periods of time. So let's, as a player, see how long. I need to do some unit capture testing, because I thought it was... Nah, it's not too bad. So we know that we need to go from here, and eventually we're going to end up over here, right? If we get our second AO in, then we'll be somewhere else first. Yeah, if we don't have unit capture, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do the thing. Let's just check how long it takes to get there. It always feels like it's really long, and then you get in the helicopter, and it can be deceptively short or long. Okay. Trying to crash live on stream. We're gonna, no, we're not gonna increase speed. We're just gonna waste a couple minutes here, so. Let's see. We can check here, we can see how much time it is. Doesn't look like it's gonna be too bad. It'll probably just be a couple minutes in the helicopter. Enough time for people to BS. Maybe we won't worry about doing. Because my thought is sometimes if it's too long for, like if the distance is too far, some of the maps are really huge, and the only good place to put a place for them to the only good place to put a base is like really far off. One thing I like to do is fade the players, fade their stuff out, and then have them get moved into a helicopter that's like really close and about to insert them. I find that that's a very nice way to do it. I don't know if we'll have time to script that in right now, though. So, yeah, I mean, if we're looking, we're already almost at 2 minutes. We've gone about halfway, and this is like going to take a very straight path, so it might be a little bit long for us. We like to shoot for ops that are between an hour and 2 hour long, but only up to 3 hours. So if that's the case, it's like every minute that you spend not shooting bad guys is kind of a minute wasted. Okay, I would say that we are exactly halfway there, so, and we just hit 2 minutes. Don't mind me crashing into a mountain. We're able to go a little faster now, though. We'll call it 4 minutes. That's on the longer side of how I'd like to do it. Now, if we get our other AO in, if we get a move on and get our other AO in, it won't be as big of a deal, because we'll probably do something in between. But, you know, it is what it is. Okay, I think we're going to call that's to be 4 minutes direct. We will set it up and we'll fix it. We'll refine it later. So, what we want to do here is that we want to be able to ensure that, how do I say this? We want to make sure that we're ready, that these guys will wait until we're ready to start the op. To be able to then take off and go to where they're going. There are a variety of different ways to do that. One of the ones that most people think to do is just wait until every player is in a helicopter, especially there's only one helicopter, which does work pretty well. The only issue that I have is that, like, inevitably what happens is everyone goes to the helicopter and, like, is hopping in and out and, like, messing around and faffing about. And then somebody's like, oh crap, I didn't want to. But the moment that the helicopter starts taking off, you can't stop it from doing it. So what I like to do is I like to just simply do a hold action. It's kind of a dumb way to do it. But rather than doing the thing where you try to detect, like, is a whole squad in the helicopter, or is the helicopter full, or is every single player that's currently on the server sitting in instead of doing a trigger like that, I find it's easier just to create a hold action that maybe only the squad leaders can see, and then they could just take out the helicopter when they're ready. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna rename, so we're gonna call this guy SL1. SL2. I put 1 again. And where's our commander? CO. Oh, I gotta make him playable again. Or player again. Cool, okay. And I don't want this guy to be playable over here. I did a cardinal sin. I put the people to be saved down first, so it's not Alpha 1-1, Alpha 1-2 anymore. Cool, they're not playable anymore. Okay, so then we're gonna go here to our helicopters, and we're going to go, and we're going to create a hold action again. So hold action, I use and abuse hold action. We'll go start mission, will be the name of it. Condition is show. We can go that this, which is the person who's looking at it, is equal to SL1, and then we can put some OR brackets here. In fact, I'll copy and paste this into our thing here so you can see what I'm doing. So this equals SL1, or this equals SL2, or this equals CO. So basically it's the only people who can see this hold action are these people. It's the only people we'll show it to. We can test that pretty easily. And then once the code is complete, and we have to make this hold for 5 seconds, I think that there's just a commitment. Once you've held this down for 5 seconds, if the mission wasn't ready to start, then you guys screwed up. Like, but I've definitely had it to where everyone hops in the helicopter, not realizing that's going to start immediately, right? Gotta go to bed. Hey, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you stepping in there, Kate. I always appreciate the folks that have been around for a long time checking in and seeing how things are going. So when the code is complete, we're gonna do the really cheap and easy way, and I'll show you that. We're just gonna set a global variable to, well, sorry, there's two ways you can do it. One is make the helicopter start with no fuel and then fill the fuel in the helicopter, which is what I might actually do because it's a pretty good way to do it. The other one is to set a global variable and have your waypoints wait for that global variable to be active before they can take off. Let's do the fuel one because I think that one's kind of fun. So you basically just rob all the helicopters of fuel, so they can't take off and go anywhere. They want to, but they can't. And then you go in the code complete. You go, we'll do it in here again. Target. Is it add fuel? This is why you have the Bicky up all the time. Add fuel. Is it what? No, set fuel. Set fuel. I think it's set fuel. Yeah, set fuel. 1. So we go target set fuel 1. Cool. So that's just gonna give it a full tank of fuel. We put it in the code complete section. Set this to 5. Good to go. In fact, we can actually do this exact thing to both of them. So let's say I just set that on this helicopter, and rather than copying and pasting every single one over, what I can do is I can select both helicopters, right click and go to attributes, go down, and it's gonna have this little thing to set it for all of them. Oh, I thought that it had, oh, never mind. I guess I was wrong. I thought it grabbed it. Oh wait, no, that's right. You have to click the one that you already set it on. And then scroll down and then do. No, it doesn't work. Okay. I could have sworn that worked. Okay. I guess we're just copying and pasting. Boring. Start mission. And unfortunately, you can't do like multiple things from your clipboard. Go here. So I could have copied and pasted the whole dang thing, but whatever. This is what it is. Go there. Go show. And lastly, grab the target set fuel. Okay, cool. Okay. And then we're going to set these guys up with some waypoints to go. Cool, so we can go ahead and test this right now. We're going to grab this is our CO, so we're playing as him. Okay, and we're going to press Y, and we're going to grab the helicopter and check its fuel levels. It has no fuel right now. But, once we hold start mission, cool. That goes away, and now it's got a full tank of fuel. Good to go. Now, if I grab a guy who is not me, and I remote control him, he does not have that option to do that. Whereas if I release the UAV controls, teleport myself over here, I have that option for this one as well. Cool. So we just had a very quick and easy way to prevent the helicopters from taking off and inserting people by taking away their fuel, and we just gave them a little quick hold action to do that. Once again, that's a 3D enhanced thing. You can also use the hold action scripting function in the init field. Nothing wrong with that. It's just more complex. Okay, so what we're gonna do now. Oh, and I guess we should check to make sure that it works for squad leads as well. I don't know why it wouldn't, but let's first play as this guy here. So we're gonna play as this character. We're gonna make sure that he can't start it. Load. Why does it take so long? Okay. Yeah, he doesn't have the option to start it, right? But if I grab the squad lead, which one's squad lead here? Squad leader? Is that you? Yeah, okay. Why did it respawn? What the heck? Something happened to this? Why did it respawn? That's concerning. You figure that out. Okay, we're gonna remote control. He has the ability to start mission. Cool. Yep, good to go. I'm concerned. Why is it respawning this this helicopter? What's going on? Is it inside the ground or something? You guys seeing that? That was weird. It has people in it, right? Is it checking the deserted distance? No. That's weird. I've never seen that before. Hopefully that doesn't break everything. Anyway, let's grab our helicopters here, and we do want to have some lights for our helipads. Okay, we're gonna grab our helicopter guys. Going over these mountains was a little insane, so we're gonna have them move a little bit of this. I'm just holding. I selected the group. I was holding Shift. It's gonna create move waypoints for us. We're gonna have them skirt the mountains here. And then where was a good infill point? That was the one thing I was worried about. This is that there wasn't really a good infill point. I didn't even notice there's this like area over here. So I think it's gonna have to be over here if I'm being honest, because I don't think you can really infill them up here unless we wanted to clear the trees and try to get the AI to do that. The AI landing zones are kind of dumb, if I'm being honest. We don't want to fly over it too much. Man, there's a huge... Why did I choose this place? Pretty much have to go down the valley here. So let's grab a landing zone. It's not in view. Let's clear out this area, and we'll use this for our LZ. Okay? So, moves there. I think he's going to have to go through the... I think he's going to have to go through this pass here. So we'll have him go here. And then... have them land in this area. So we're going to go here. It's going to go... We're going to change this to a land... sorry, no, it's not gonna be land. It's going to be a transport unload, right? And so when it goes to land here, we're going to we're going to all dedicate servers. Oh man, that's weird. Okay, man, good to know. I had all sorts of high hopes for a unit. I thought that's exactly how whatever. We'll talk about it later. I thought that was how something's done. Anyway, so now the helicopter pilots, once they get fuel, they'll take off. They'll go here, go through the pass, allegedly, and then they'll come in and land here. Now we're gonna do some trickery to make sure that this landing actually works correctly, because oftentimes they like to overshoot the landing. It's still pretty close, so we might have to actually put them over like this area. They tend to overshoot landings or like hover really high and be seen by the enemy, so that's definitely a consideration. So we have this transport unload, which should wait until everyone unloads. But what we're also going to do is we're going to make sure that the actual thing doesn't finish for a while. We want it to sit on the ground for a bit even after everyone unloads. So we're going to use this waypoint timer. Basically, what this does is when the unit does the thing, when the AI does the thing that they think would complete that waypoint, this forces an amount of time afterwards they have to wait until they can say, okay, this waypoint's actually complete. So for us, we're going to put this so that they have to be on the ground for 30 seconds. So we're going to put 30, 30, 30. You can change it if you want. There's a little bit of randomness you can build in there. That's great for like patrols and stuff like that. If you add a randomness, like they might stand in the spot for 10 seconds, or they might stand in the spot for 60 seconds. Things will automatically, kind of look a little bit more realistic. But by putting 30 seconds, that basically means it's going to get on the ground, it's going to unload all the people, it's going to wait for 30 seconds before it even tries to take off. So do that, and then we're going to have it go back out here. Take the same exfil path. Actually, it's probably going to go direct. It doesn't really matter at this point. Let's go back to base. And they're going to land back at base. Land here. And that's all we're going to do for now. That's it. That's all we're going to do for now for this guy. We have to recreate the other one. Or we have to do the same thing for the other one. But all we're going to do for now is just have them land. We're just working on the infill portion, not the exfil. And we're not looking great on top. We might not get our second objective in. So we're going to do some of these as well. We're gonna go here, here, same sort of thing. Go through the pass here. This guy's gonna have a LZ that's not exactly on top of the other one because that tends to not work well for us. We're gonna have him go here. Same sort of thing, transport, unload. That basically means that if you're a transport, you wait for all of your non-crew members to get out. 30, 30, 30, okay. And then there, he's also gonna do the same sort of thing. Fly here, fly there, and head back to land at this location. Cool. Okay. Where can I find land? Excellent. Cool. Okay, so now we're going to test this as a... well, first let's go ahead and save. Save as, we're going to call this hostage rescue workshop op. Why not? Cool. We're going to save that because we've done enough work now. If we lost it, it'd be pretty bad. So we're here. We're going to go into the scenario. Okay. Unfortunately, even at 4 times speed, it's going to take forever. See, they can't go on their first objective even though they want to. Go ahead and hop in back. Hold start mission. We're going to increase the speed on everything. So now that we told them to start mission, they got their fuel. So they're ready to go. I'm going to turn down the sound for a little bit. We're going to watch whatever path he takes. So that other helicopter has a problem. We're going to figure that out later. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. But, see, ooh, you're getting a little bit close to the mountains there, fella. Getting a little bit close to the mountains there, fella. Okay. Eventually, you should turn to go through the pass up here. Not sure why he's hugging so close. I must have done a weird thing with the waypoint. Ah, yeah, I see. He hugs really close to the mountains there. Goes right over the village. Should turn any second now. Your pass is back here. Okay, cool. Yep, it's gonna go through the little pass here. AI always takes weird pathing on everything. Okay, good. Go here. Oh, I forgot to do one of the important parts. See, even a guy who's made missions a million times, he's not gonna be able to find an easy spot to land right here, unfortunately. But see how he went really high? Looks like we're still shielded from the area, but he's gonna have a hard time finding a spot to land. He's not gonna care with these little trees. Oh, he's just good. He's just built different. Cool. We get out. He hangs out for 30 seconds. Should see him taking off here soon. Yep, and then he's off, right? And then we can watch, actually we'll watch it in spectator mode. Alpha 22, where are you? 22. Should go back, and he'll go back and land. So the one thing that we need to do is, oh my gosh, wow, that's certainly a path that he chose to take. That's weird. If we had more time, what we would do is we would then take all of his fuel again when he lands so that he waits again until we do a call to be exfilled. And we'll see if we can set that up for the exfill as well versus just, hey, you rescue the hostages end mission, which is what we might end up doing. He's going to go back, and we just want to make sure that he lands appropriately. I forgot to put, what I want to do is I want to clear out that area, that forested area, and add some invisible helipads so we can have a little more control over where he lands. But he didn't do too bad of a job. Just a little dicey. Not too bad, though. Okay, cool. And great landing job. Excellent. Cool. So now our infill is ready to go. We've got now 3 things done. A place for players to land. We've got a way for them to get into the objective area. They've got a mission to do, and then you just have to do the exfil. We'll do the exfil after a little bit because, or, you know, the end mission trigger. Because, first off, I'm trying to figure out why this helicopter is so jacked up. Why is it forcing it to respawn? What did I do wrong with you? I just want to watch it for a second. There's space between the helipads, but yeah, no, I don't. It seems fine. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. We'll do that. Let's see what's happening. It seems like it's like respawning because it thinks that because it's out of fuel is the thing that I worry about. Okay. They'll disappear when they respawn. I wonder if it thinks it's an abandoned vehicle because it has no fuel. That's the one thing I'm worried about. What? When I looked away exactly at 60 seconds. That one, though, isn't. That is so weird. Yeah, this is respawning over and over. Something wrong with this helicopter. What did I do wrong? What have I done to you to deserve this? Let's grab the crew out. Delete this helicopter. Take this helicopter. Copy, paste. Take this crew out as well. Isn't that weird? And then put this crew back in the helicopter. Cool. Shouldn't be anything different. They both have the same hold action. It's all good to go. That's really weird. Now let's do it. Blackhawk has lost the will to live. Exactly. Cool. We're at about an hour and 15 minutes. We're just going to watch and see if this does it again. It's very strange. Very strange behavior. The other thing we need to do is, now that we have more space, to put an arsenal in between them. Oh, the other one did it now? Guys, what's going on? Excuse me. I think it thinks that they're abandoned. Is it going to happen to that one if I move away? No, you definitely have more than one per respawn module. Definitely done it a lot. I mean, we'll try that. We'll try to do 2 respawn modules and see if that fixes it. That's a weird, but oh, this one doesn't have. It's not connected to the respawn module. Well, we'll copy paste. Sync to this one, and we'll set it actually as respawn on. I thought we could do it here. Side respawn marker. No. Okay, we're just gonna go start position. That's fine. See if that happens again. That's a weird error. We don't need to do too much troubleshooting right now. We could do that at the end to make it fully functional, but I've just never seen anything like that. Then again, I normally don't. Oftentimes, I've not used this set fuel thing. I wonder if it's the set fuel. I have a feeling that it thinks that they're abandoned, so it's respawning them. Yeah, happened to both of them. I think that's exactly it. So, our set fuel gambit may not be working, or what we're going to do, we're just going to make him invincible. So what we're going to do is, rather than having them respawn, which now that I think about it, it's not that good of a thing because it doesn't actually respawn with crew, we're going to instead set these helicopters to be invincible, because all their job is to fly you in and out. So to do that, we double click them, we go to, what am I, special states here, enable damage. So if we disable damage, now it cannot sustain any damage, which can add some weirdness to your ops, because the AI might like fly into a mountain and like be flipping around and everyone's side gets hurt, but the helicopter's fine. It's just a problem. Could just disable AI path. Absolute. Well, I don't know if pathing works with helicopters, so that's definitely something to consider. We need to move this a little bit because it was being kind of weird in the way that it was flying over the mountains. Cool. So that's good to go. We got that where we want. Let's go ahead and make our op area a little bit more exciting so we can talk about that, because we have about 40-ish minutes left on this op, on creating this op. So we are going to now go to our op area. We have our people that we want to rescue, right? Let's go ahead and set up a trigger that will basically say when all four of these guys leave the trigger area, are alive and leave the trigger area, then the op is complete. We should probably make them invincible as well now I'm thinking about it, because otherwise our trigger won't fire. So we're gonna make all these folks invincible just because it makes the op work a little better. Yeah, usually remove the driver. That actually makes a lot of sense. So these guys are invincible. Let's name all of them. I'm going to call them hostage 1. I call them hostage 2. Actually, I have a way better way of doing this. Rather than naming the hostages, here's what we should do. Why don't we just make it to where once there are no blue 4 people in a certain area, then the trigger kicks off and it ends the mission. Because the only way to do that is to remove these hostages from the area. That's exactly what we'll do. That's nice and easy. Go ahead and save. We'll go ahead and build the trigger. We're going to put it right centered on this area. It's currently 500 large, but if you hit spacebar, you can actually you can change all the things. Like, this doesn't really matter for a trigger, but let's say we have a person. We can grab this person, and if we want to, we can totally like flip them upside down, or like craziness like this. That's mostly useful for when you're placing down objects to try to fill out like empty huts and things like that. Keeping space, you can then this increase or decrease the size. It doesn't really work for units. And then if you hit spacebar, going back to our trigger, the last one, the one that we really care about, is you see this bounding box that we get here? This allows us to very easily change the size of our trigger area. So we want to make the trigger area pretty big. We'll hold shift to make it square. I think you can actually hold shift and alt, and it will just increase in size. So we're going to say that once the players are out of this, or once there are no blue 4 in this area at all, you have succeeded. You've gotten your allies out of there. And that'll be a way for us to, if we don't have time to finish the mission, we can just say, hey, you got to walk them out there to the exfil zone. Hanging on their ankles from the ceiling, that's hilarious. That's a hilarious idea. So we're going to take this trigger. We're going to take this trigger. I'm going to give it a name just so I can find it a little bit easier. It's going to be called end scenario. The type is going to be nothing. Oh, sorry. I guess we could do an end. We could just do end if we want this way. I usually prefer to do that in the activation. Activation, we're going to go blue 4. Activation type, not present. So if there's no blue 4 here, then it's good to go. And server only. Okay. So now that trigger will fire when there are no blue 4 units anywhere inside this zone, which means that these hostages have been successfully brought out. That's just sort of like a little bit of, like, we could do a crazy thing where we check if the hostages are still held, and if they have gotten in hell. Like, we can do like a bunch of specific scripting, but oftentimes the best way to do these is to just script it the absolute bare bones way. We know the hostages aren't leaving this area unless the players take them out. Therefore, if the players have taken the hostages out of the area, that means that they were able to get to them, free them, and bring them out of the area, escort them out. That means that they've accomplished the task. This is the simplest possible way to do that, rather than doing all that other very nitnoid stuff. And there's like kind of one of the, what's that that meme where it's like what's it called, like standard deviation meme? What's the meme? Yeah, this meme right here is exactly what I'm thinking of. Is that, like, as you do more can I get this picture? As you do more missions, when you start out, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna do it that the trigger is when there's no more players there. And then as you go through, you're like, no, you learn more scripting. You're like, no, I need to check if the players did this, and I have to keep 15 global variables going to make sure that it's all good to go. And then you get over the hump of doing that a bunch of times, and it just failing in the middle of ops and getting weird results, and everyone's like, what's going on, and everything like that. And then you get back down to having made 40 ops. You're like, nah, dude, just check if the blue 4 are in the area. Like, this is to me, so much of Arma scripting is this. It's, you don't know anything, so you just do the simplest thing you could think of. You start to feel like you know a lot, and so you try to do everything complex. and then you've been burned so much by the complexity, so now you're just gonna make it as simple as possible again. That's that to me. This image to me is Arma scripting in a nutshell. So, so in that we're gonna use the simplest thing possible, which is a trigger that checks if these blue 4 guys have been moved. Okay, that's what it comes down to. Okay. So next to that trigger, we can use modules here for ending the mission. You can call the script, but I find the modules work better in multiplayer. So I try to use them as much as I can. And that's going to be, I believe, scenario flow, end scenario. And drop that one. We can put some information. So mission complete, custom type. You can put custom, if you want to go in the CFG debriefing class, you can actually write your own custom type in there if you want to. And then the only problem with this one is that if you use this instead of the scripting command, you can't put anything in the actual mission complete thing. To be fair, most people don't read it, so we're gonna skin around with this. So we have an end scenario module, and all I have to do now is sync that to this trigger. So when this trigger goes off, it will end the scenario successfully. We can actually test that using Zeus, which is why we have Zeus already set up. We'll get into the game. Oh, maybe we can't test. Oh no! I have made a grievous error in judgment. I forgot something very important, and the reason why my thing going off about you know just do as simple as possible, showing you a meme and everything like that. The hostages are civilians right now. When they turn into civilians, then they're hostages. Oops. So I guess we will have to name them now that I think about it, because I mean, I could say civilians, but I want to put some civilians in here at some point as well. So, yep, that's one efficient mission, dude. Mission complete. That's hilarious. So that's really funny to me. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna end up naming the hostages after all that. So dumb. Hostage 1. That's so funny to me. I can't believe that I did that. Hostage 3. Was that hostage 1, 2, 3, and 4? Okay. Hostage 4. Okay. And we're gonna go to our trigger. So this allows us to work with the trigger a little bit more. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do trigger blue 4 not present. We're gonna leave that as is, and then in the expression, this condition area, basically this is what it's going to check every half second, which I'm going to turn that up to 1 because you can check it every second. Every second it's going to check to see if this condition is true. If it is, it's then going to kick off the trigger and, of course, end the scenario, right? So we want to have no blue 4 present. And then we're going to put and we'll actually do this in here because it always is easy for you guys to see here. And it's easier to copy and paste. So we're going to say this. So we don't want blue 4 present still. So we're going to leave this in there. And this next stuff's going to happen. These are all going to be in parentheses because we need all of this stuff to happen. These are all going to be ands, okay? So we're going to say, I'm trying to remember if we can do not in. I remember in. I think we just do not in. Trying to remember how you can do not in. If it's easier to do. We can do not equals to how we don't do that. So we'll go back and we'll go. So there's a special thing for the trigger called this list of all objects in trigger area based on activation. Oh, I didn't think about that. I'm not sure if it will check the activation. We'll see if it works. This list is basically all of the objects that are in the trigger area, and so we can check if they're in that trigger area. I do think that we can do an array that will, and we'll check if all of them are in the array. This is true. I believe that we can do an array. Yeah, so if 1, 2, 3 in 1, 2, 3, or that's right. So we can check. Oh, that's an array versus an array. We'll check it and see if it's in there. No, we want to check it individually because of the way the Boolean works out on that. We're gonna check it individually. So we're gonna go not hostage 1 in and it was, I believe, underscore this list. Oh no, not underscore. It's just this list. In this list. So basically, we're saying it's true, and hostage 1 is not in this list. If he's in this list, then this inverts it to false, and therefore we're good to go. And we're gonna do a whole bunch of ands like that. So we're gonna go hostage 1, hostage 2, hostage 3, hostage 4. We have to close our, make this a little smaller for us. So we got this big old thing. So it's going to say there's no blue 4 in there, and all these things have to be true as well. So what we're doing here is we're checking, and we're just going to basically say all these hostages are not in the list of objects that's inside this trigger area. So this should be a working one. There is one thing that might prevent it from working that I'm thinking of. And we'll see if that's the case. What? I copied you. Hello? That's an interesting situation. Okay, copy. Okay, it wasn't wanting to let me copy. Sorry, it's probably flickering for you guys, but it wasn't wanting to let me copy. Okay, that should work. The only thing that I'm not sure about is that if you have the activation not cover everything, like anybody or whatever, then the activation might only look for objects of that type. So if we say that blue 4 isn't present, it might not be able to check hostage 1 because it might be a civilian. So we'll just do a quick little tester and see if that's the case. Yeah, okay, so that's the case. So if we change that that activation type to anybody, then that'll be better. Oh, that's not a bad idea, Alias. I didn't think about that, but we don't need to do that. Blue 4 is out of the area from the start, so it fires immediately. No, it's not a bad idea. But it won't fire. It won't fire if we have this done correctly. So we'll just get rid of the blue 4 part of it, and we'll do anybody. So anybody present. So we'll do that, and this should now work. Basically, what's this? It's gonna check every single unit. Make sure that they are in there. Okay. Yep. Cool. Good to go. Right. And now, if I go and let's put down some bad guys just so we can make sure it's not, anybody. Sure, why not? You guys are there. Oh, they got a big UGV and everything. If I take these guys out of the area, it should end the mission immediately. I don't remember how big the trigger was, but yep. Anyway, cool. So, sorry, just relieving some stress there. So yes, it looks as though it now works if you were to go and rescue the hostages. And we can do that. We can do that manually by just going like this. The trigger doesn't fire, but now we go here, teleport me there. Oh no, we go in. We rescue the hostages. Speed this up a little bit. Grab all these hostages. Should have made the trigger smaller. And we go and we run out of the we're never gonna make it in time, but we're just gonna teleport myself. There, and then we grab all these guys and we move them. Oh, are we still in? There's no way we're still in the AO, are we? Did I make it that big? What'd I do wrong? What'd we do? There we go. They just had to go farther. It's too big. The trigger area is too big. But yep, so now once you get the survivors out of there, they're good to go. They're in my squad, so I can actually tell them to go like get in a helicopter and stuff like that. That's all good to go. So we now have all 4 parts. Technically, by all rights, by all of the definitions I gave, this is now a fully functional mission. We have, when you start the multiplayer mission, you have a place to land that you we'll go here, we'll go play multiplayer, we'll go whatever, we'll grab squad leader role. Okay, sounds good. We drop in. We now have yeah, we're gonna get rid of this in a second. Chill out. I haven't added the thing that makes us not have to wait to respawn, so there's that. Come in. What the heck? That's weird. Okay, I guess pole boxes make it hard. Yeah, their captors have gone to lunch. I guess pole box is not going to let us do multiplayer, but you select a thing, you drop in, right? So we'll play it in single player. That's weird. I never tried to. I guess I never tried to test it because pole box is normally just used for something else. So you drop in, you can go here, you can use the arsenal, right, to get your kit all ready to go. You can also use the ace arsenal. Let's gotta get here to do ace arsenal. Good to go. And then from there, we can speed it up a little bit. We can go ahead and hop in the heli. We can start the mission. Helicopter will fly us all the way into the AO. I don't want to follow you. Maybe I don't want to follow. Pretty direct route. Take us all the way into the AO. We'll grab the hostages. Dude, he's still doing this weird thing. He really likes to hug this this mountainside. I don't know why. He's supposed to be going flying down here now at this point. Whatever, man. Whatever floats your boat. Mr. Helicopter Man. I feel like I fixed his waypoints. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Go and grab them. So this is a functional mission. It is possible to do this. It's not great. It doesn't do everything that you want, but it is a functional mission. So what we need to do now is we need to do the things that are going to make this a fun mission. We need to add enemies. We need to add some scenario, like some objectives that they give you in the actual scenario, and then I would like to have an exfilling helicopter. So here we go. Transport unload. He takes off. We teleport ourselves here. We grab the hostages. We all leave the AO far enough away to where we can trigger it. And mission complete. Huzzah. Good job. Yeah, you're possible with the waypoint order. So, what we need to do now is we need to add some enemies. I'm going to show you my favorite way to do enemies, which is to use pre-made ones, partially. But also, we can make this trigger area a little bit... Whatever, it's fine. It's fine. So there's three ways to do enemies. You can do like a fully customized like enemy if you want to. One thing that I find works really well to do that is to go and find an enemy that kind of looks like what you want. So we're gonna go grab, who do we want to have for here? Maybe we could grab the, I don't really know who fits. Maybe it's the Serrani Liberation Army. No, that's too good. Maybe we'll look at the independent ones. We'll make an independent enemy. I don't know who should do. Tuareg rebels. Sure. Why not? Tuareg rebels it is. So if you want to, you can go and you can if you want to create some custom enemy types, what you could do is you could start with something that has a good look that you like, and then go in and go to edit loadout, change them to have something else that you want, more. Like, oh, I don't really want them to use AK-74s. I want them to use G3s, okay? Do that, and then just copy and paste them throughout the rest of your thing. What you'll do is you'll create, like, all of your classes, your custom classes. So Grenadier will be there, your Medic, you're going to give something different. And you'll create sort of like a palette, if you will, of enemies that you've modified, and you've sort of set them aside to like one area of the AO, and then as you go around the rest of the AO, you copy and then you paste them into places. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of like a way to do it. Oh yeah, CFP is going to prevent that because that's weird customization stuff, but that's one way to do it. I'm fine, and I think honestly for most people, until you get to really advanced ops, most people are fine just facing normal enemies, like the regular, yeah, you can also create compositions for units as well. Most people are fine just fighting normal enemies because they don't. The reality is that all of the effort and work you put into making these ops crazy complicated, the less return you get. Most people just want to have a fun objective to play with their friends that works well and is ready to go at op time. That's like 90% of the fun. When you do the little fiddly things, most people won't notice them unless you point them out. So really, whatever. I know that it kind of burned me last time, but going back to our friend, be this guy, which is the same as this guy, which is put some enemies in the AO and make them patrol, stupid. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna grab the Tuareg rebels. We're gonna grab some infantry. Grab some. We'll go 4-man teams. I like to have several iterations of patrols in an area that don't all go in perfect tandem. They crisscross, because there's also the interesting convergence. I usually like to have 2 that are going in opposite directions doing normal circular patrols around an AO. So we'll have this one here. We select the group. We right-click, and then right-click somewhere half between the last one and there. You double-click this last one, and you hit cycle. Ta-da! You have now officially done. This is a patrol. They are officially patrolling. Also, what you want to do, and I wish that this was easy to default, is you want to make sure that these guys don't start out as aware. Otherwise, they're going to look like they're running around in combat. Make them safe to begin with. And I usually like putting them in a file or a staggered column formation. That just looks more realistic. They're just walking in a line. They have nothing to be afraid of right now. They're just patrolling their area, right? And so we'll do the same thing here. We'll start a 4-man group here, and we'll have them go in the opposite direction and slightly different. So they're going to go, maybe we'll start them actually out in the woods. They're going to go up a little higher here. They're going to go on this hilltop here. They're going to come out maybe down to this little area down here and there. And lastly, put another one about halfway between for the cycle waypoint. And like I said, one thing you can do is with all of these waypoints, you can actually select them. So holding control, I'm selecting all these waypoints, right? And then I can right click them and go to attributes, go down to this this timer thing here, and I can put values. So minimum 0, mid maybe like, I don't know, 5, and then max maybe like 30. So what that means is that most of the time they're just going to stop for a second at each waypoint, but sometimes they'll stop more. And that's now going to immediately randomize all those waypoints automatically. Like, you can also do it here, selecting them here. And if you do that, it's going to make them seem slightly more alive than if they're just patrolling perfectly all the time. Oh yeah, I need to make these guys file and save. Cool. Okay. In the 3D Enhanced, there's also another thing that I'm going to add here as well that I think is kind of cool. We'll do it with a 6-man team here. And they do have AT, right? Yep, cool. That's important. If I double click on the group and I look at the group, set them as safe and file. I can do this thing called patrol here. Now this runs a special BIS functionality that basically creates a patrol area that whatever number I put in here, they will patrol basically a random number of points between, or they will randomly patrol, and each point will be the amount of meters that you put in, in this box away from it. So if I put 50, they will now randomly patrol in this area. Each of those waypoints will be 50 meters. Okay. So at this point we've got 4, 8, 14 units. My personal preference is for a regular op, nothing, if you don't want anything too crazy hard, about 3 enemies per player in an AO tends to be about the right amount. If you put it to 4 or 5 enemies per player in the AO, or if you put in things that are very difficult to remove, like tanks might count for 10 units, something like that, it becomes a lot more difficult for players. It tend to get overwhelmed very quickly. I would shoot for about 3 enemies per player. So if we've got, let's say that we're planning for about 12 players, that means that we should put about 36 units into this AO, a mixture of patrolling, ones that will come out and attack, but also ones that are stationary. So let's go ahead and place some stationary ones right now. We can go here and we can we'll just grab the basic rifleman. And if we go and we hold control on them, we can place one down and then immediately place another one. We're gonna have to come back and change any of their orientation stuff, but this is a pretty quick way to get enemies down into an AO. Put some here, maybe hanging out by the church, not a bad idea. Maybe a couple will be hanging out on this side. We'll build a little like guard post sort of thing. Maybe one hanging out back here, and then of course you're gonna want to have some folks actually in the building with the players. I don't like that it automatically wants to make them group up. We'll put them, no, whatever, we'll fix them later. We'll put a couple in the buildings, maybe one in this area up here. Cool. And these are just basic riflemen, right? These should be the majority of your enemies are just basic soldiers. I'm kind of lost track of how many of them there are. Cool. And these are all right now in their own squads, which we'll fix in a second. Maybe we'll put, I don't know. That's probably enough for now. That's basic riflemen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all those riflemen I just put down. I'm going to select all of them on the side here. And I'm going to now disable their pathing so that they just stay wherever they're at. Oh, that's the edit the load up. So they just stay wherever they're at the whole time. They're not going to move no matter what. They're going to just defend from where they're at. This is what you want to do for basically everyone in buildings. So go to AI if you're using 3D Enhanced and do pathing, or you can use the disable AI command on all of them. So now, no matter what happens, they will just stand in place. Once I do that, I can also now put them all in one squad. They will get some extra information, but it just saves work for me on setting them to safe. And now they'll mostly just stand around until something happens. But you basically now have a group of, how many is this? 8 dudes that are just hanging out around the town, looking like they're just relaxing, maxing out, relaxing, acting all cool. Oh, oops, actually I just moved them all. There we go. And I just want them to stand in a more realistic way. Cool. So that's some of our basic folks. I always like to put a couple of guys doing something akin to this, where they're like standing there talking to one. These guys look exactly the same. It's crazy. Where they're basically standing there looking like they're talking to each other. That looks a little bit more realistic for players. So go ahead here. Go ahead and disable his pathing as well. It's a grenadier. And then we'll put some medics. They're kind of hanging out here, as well as we'll put a specialist. You can set a few of them up, and then you can do a campfire. If you do that, it kind of looks a little bit more like they're hanging out, like they're chilling out, being cool, maxing out, relaxing. But what I like to do is put all of them in one group. It just helps to make the it just makes everything easier when you want to like change things about them. We're here at the that's Takistani. We want the Tuareg rebels. Cool. Men. We're gonna go with maybe I don't know. Refman AT. Cool. Sounds good. Boop, boop, boop. All you guys. Can you please? Are now going to be. Where's my AI? Turn off pathing. Cool. And we are now going to add them into that same group. Cool. So now in the town we have 12 stationary dudes that will stay wherever they're at. Most of them are out in the open. There's a couple inside buildings. If I was really going hard on this, I'd probably put one more in this building here as well. Is there a back? Yeah, he'll be hanging out back here, so we definitely want to do that. So we'll put a team leader here. That's because you want stuff inside buildings because that gives more impetus for the players to actually explore around. Path off. Cool. I use and abuse the AI pathing thing. And boop. Cool. Excellent. So now we've got a number of interesting places where people are at. We've got some patrols, but currently in our AO, we've got a total of 27. So we need a few more. One thing I like to do is take these groups. So we'll go to the Tuareg Rebels. We'll take the 6-man group and then actually divide this up into 3 2-man groups. And we'll have them be patrolling up and down the roads as well. That I find tends to be a little bit more, that feels a little bit better for the players. So they'll usually, if there's another nearby location, they'll patrol down to it. So like these guys will patrol here. And then we'll have them start maybe at this one. And then they'll just, actually this first one can be a cycle. So they'll go there and then immediately go back to where they were at before. And they should be, oh, they're aware again? Why? Okay, cool. And then we'll grab the other one. Once again, just sort of robbing from this. This is a way to get diversity within your units very easily. So, this is now a machine gunner and a rifleman that are working together. It just adds in different sort of stuff, and it doesn't feel like it's all a ton of huge squads. It's, normal size amounts of people that are just sort of doing their own thing. These guys are going to go up here. We'll say they go check this out, and then they from there, I don't know, where should they go? Maybe they'll patrol around here. Actually, wouldn't be too bad. Patrol down to the water's down to the water's edge, and then they cycle back here. Cool. And then the last group here, I already sent one down this way. These guys will then just go and explore up this valley. We'll have them start in those guys start in the churchyard. Well, these guys start here. They'll go up here, maybe even up into the mouth of the valley here. And by putting it this way, what we're doing is we're spreading the enemies out, and they could come from a variety. We're not intentionally like trying to rob the players. We're not being like, ho, the players aren't going to expect this. We're doing this in a way that is realistic, right? Like you would want, if you're patrolling, you'd want to make sure you're patrolling up in these areas as well, right? Like if this is your base, you want to make sure you're patrolling these areas. And then we go here and we put a cycle waypoint again. Cool. So now all of the enemies in our AO are now. We now have 33. So we're basically almost right on the money for our for what we're trying to do. Last thing I want to do is add in some more enemies into the building here. I'm gonna leave some of these guys to be able to run out, because that also adds some interest if once the shooting starts, the enemies start running out. So we'll grab a officer or squad leader or something like that. What do they have? Sniper, team leader. Might just be team leader. So we'll grab a team leader. We'll be in with this guy here. Okay. And we're going to have him not by the window. We want him to be covering the door. not be shot out of the way. I mean, he'll be by a window, but like we don't want him necessarily. We want him to seem like he's defending this guy. We're gonna put a medic and a repair specialist here. There, we're gonna have the repair specialists be able to run out. Now they're not. I aimed them at the door, but they're gonna do their own thing, right? This guy will probably get shot out through the window, and then we have one guy here. We'll put another guy in the hallway here. That will be sure a guy that has a SPG-9. Cool, sounds good. Why not? Okay, and once again, want to select all these guys that are connected to this and make sure all of them have pathing disabled, and then we'll enable pathing on just a couple of those guys. So pathing disabled on everyone who's part of that squad, and then you have the ability to path still, and you have the ability to path still as well. Cool, excellent. So now we've got the recommended 36 enemies in the AO. There's a mixture of interesting enemies. One thing that I usually like to do is add in some sort of QRF that the enemy can do. So for an enemy that's like low tech, that's usually like a technical loaded with dudes who come and unload. We won't have time to put that today, but definitely a consideration for a mission like this is that, you know, they're holding the hostages here. Once combat starts, so normally what I would do is I would create like a trigger that just covers like a smaller area that the players have to engage in combat by the time they hit that. What that does is basically it will connect with a move trigger to enemies that are in like this town down here. And what that does is it forces the players to have to think dynamically. You can give them the intel during your briefing saying, hey, we know that they have they have a QRF that can respond within X number of minutes. And so the players will then be like, okay, we got to watch the road, a QRF's coming, right? Or you can not tell them. Maybe they don't know, or for whatever reason, you just don't include it in the briefing. And then it's dynamic to the players. They arrive, and suddenly there's this, this technical coming down the road. So why don't we just set that up real fast? It's pretty easy to do. So let's say we set up a 500 meter trigger. Actually, we're gonna shrink that down into. We're gonna put it just here, basically on the inside of the AO. So like, if the players are in this area, there's no way they got here without fighting, right? So fighting has started. We know that. So we're gonna go type. Not type. None. We're gonna go blue 4 present. Okay, server only. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some bad guys over here. Is this? Do we have to fly over the? Yeah, we do have to fly over this area as part of that, so they need to be farther away. Dang, where can we put them? Without doing some crazy hiding, I don't know where else we could put these guys. Is there another town down here? Do we think the enemies will be able to navigate this road? I don't have much hope. Let's say that they are in one of the towns that... We'll say this town. Or can they come from here? Is there a road around this way? Does that just end? Ends in a camp there. So we'll say that they come from... Oh, there's only one path. I picked the worst time to do this. We'll say they're in here. And we're going to put a... Tuareg Rebels. We're going to go cars. We're going to go a Datsun with a PK on it. Okay. Actually, no, we'll do a Dushka. Dushkam. Okay, cool. And what we're going to do is we're going to go here. We're going to take them. We're going to put a move that we're going to turn into a hold. Is it? No, sorry, not a move. We're going to turn this into, we're just going to leave it as move. And we're going to set them as careless right now, so they won't shoot at us as we fly by. Okay, cool. And then we're going to give them some move markers. I like to try to steer them a little bit. Do our best to steer them. Crossroads being the best spot to steer them. And so there, and then they're going to go up here, and they're going to go seek and destroy at this one. So we're going to do that, seek and destroy. Okay, right? And what we do is we take that trigger that we put down in here that's waiting for the players to show up. It's this one, the blue for present trigger. We're gonna sync waypoint activation. What that means is the AI will not consider, will basically say, hey, this waypoint, sort of like how the timer we did before, this waypoint can't be considered completed until we hit the trigger, until the trigger goes off. Okay? And so what we also want to do is we want to take this guy and we want to make him, when he hits this one, he's going to be behavior safe. Cool. So now, saving and testing. What we do now is we go and we say, oh no, I'm getting right up to my time. Okay, so if we go check this this guy, he's just sitting there. He's not doing anything right now, right? He's sitting there. Honestly, if I put a guy in front of him, he shouldn't even shoot him, right? Because he's careless, right? He doesn't care. So good to go. Nothing's happening. But if I go to the AO and I set a survivor here,
Ready for order.
which is gonna piss everyone off. They're gonna get mad, I think. Oh, that's right. They're not enemies yet. Okay, that's fine. Either way, you see now he's taken off. He's already screwed up because the AI sucks at driving. But if we look at him, he's currently in safe mode and he's moving his way. Yeah, in you're not hostile. This is why we test. And now he's moving his way. He's gonna be the smallest QRF known to man. And he's gonna make his way now over to there, and it's gonna take a while. So we could probably increase the size of our blue 4 thing. But this is the most basic type of QRF. Is just literally like a truck. You can also do helicopters if they have helicopters. You can do a truck loaded with soldiers, and instead of doing a seek and destroy, you just do do an unload. So they just drive in and unload right in the center of town, or maybe on the edge of town, whatever. But we now have a basic QRF. These guys are going to come in behind the players, right? The players are fighting towards the enemy this way. They'll be on this hill fighting towards the enemy or going into there. You know, maybe they're trying to mop up. And then all of a sudden, over the hill... By the way, look at how these guys are... Look at how these different... Oh, this is the dumbest... I don't know what happened here. This was not a very good patrol route there, sir. I don't know how that worked. I put 50 meters? That's crazy. It's more like 5. Anyway, they're patrolling randomly. But then all of a sudden the guy comes in, right? They're trying to mop up and this guy comes in. And the moment he comes around this corner, they're going to have hurt him. But he's going to start shooting with that Dushka, and that's going to be a real problem. But also, it's kind of fun because if we can imagine that we have some red 4, which I think that they should be, whatever, against, move in, right? So now they're fighting. All these guys will fight. They'll still do fighting stuff, but they stay in their area. Now, one thing I forgot to do, and we'll fix that in a second. Anyone in a building, I like to leave standing. I don't like to leave them. I don't like to leave the option to lay down, because then you get situations like what's going to happen. Well, this one's not too bad. They're kneeling. But oftentimes you get the enemy laying down inside the buildings, and it becomes impossible to fight them from outside the building, right? So that's a consideration as well. So we'll fix that here in a second. So anyone inside should be forced to stand. First off, we're going to go attributes, general. We want the independence to be against us. And then looking here, we're going to go to all these guys that are in the building, right? This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And we're going to tell them, no, you have to stand by going to the stance and putting stand up. So now they're going to stay standing forever. These guys are also the same. We want them to stand forever. So go to stance, stand up. And then the last thing I like to add is any high points, usually on top of buildings and stuff like that. I like to put snipers. I want to put them somewhere that's obvious to the players. So like, for instance, we'd go here. We'd add a sniper exactly right here. Right? Like, I want it to be very obvious to the player. Maybe we can even put him on kneeling. And we'd want him to not be able to path also. So I want it to be a spot that players are going to look, but it is one of those things that, like, of course an enemy's going to be prepared, right? They're gonna have people looking out. Rooftops work. Nobody ever questions there's a sniper on a rooftop. Obviously, other places like bell towers and stuff are great. But what's nice about this is that they have basically unlimited vantage points, and they can be engaged by basically anyone as well. But make sure you disable their pathing. Cool. And then he's gonna join these guys. Excellent. So now we have, let's review, because we're right up at 2 hours now. So we're just hitting the 2 hour time frame. Let's review. We have done everything that you need in a mission. We now have the players, when they land inside the mission, right? They have now a place to get set up and hang out. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and set our their thing here. Cool. They have a place to hang out, get set up, grab their gear, and do their briefings. They have an infill method. They go to the helicopter, and the helicopter will bring them all the way into the area. They have enemies to fight and hostages to rescue in the AO. And then the way to end the mission right now is just a trigger that basically says once you get these guys out of a certain area, then you're good to go. And given more time, we're going to cut it off here. This is a working mission, but given more time, there are 2 things that I think are essential adds. Okay? And that not including like going and naming it, right? Like Operation Rescue the Dudes and Dudettes. Okay, we'll call it that. Cool. Like a name and the text and everything like that. Not include that. The 2 things that I would say are creating going to our intel and creating a task here to we'll call this find and rescue the hostages, right? And we'll put that actually, rather than putting it on the actual building, we'll put it in the center of town. And then we will assign this to all playable units, right? And we'll do that as the assigned thing and give it something. We'll just do the basic one. I don't see a... cool, we'll do those dudes. Okay, ta-da! And then what you really should do is create a series of those. And then what you do is you set up triggers that will do a set task state here. Sorry, next to your thing. You'll sync it to that, and you'll set it to completed when they, or succeeded when they complete it. And we'll set that as a, we will sync that to then the trigger here. So when you rescue the hostages, or whenever this trigger fires, it will then automatically say, yeah, good job, you rescued the hostages, right? So you should definitely have anything like that. I like using the modules that are the actual task modules. They make it easy. You can use the scripts as well. They're a little bit more finicky, but you have a lot more control over them. Or if you're in a pinch and you don't want to mess with triggers and everything like that, you just put like an objective marker and you say, find the hostages, right? And you put that there, and at least then when they pop in, you know, and they get their brief, they can point to the area and say, yeah, we got to find the hostages. They're in Hanapu, right? And then the other thing I would do is I would create a... Well, we could do it real fast. We have a little bit of time. We're over the time. We created a mission in 2 hours. We're going to go a little bit over time, though, and show how you can create the ability to call in the helicopters for extraction. So the easiest way to do it is to use the support module, use helicopter transport virtual, and basically that just creates a helicopter that will come pick people up. The problem is you don't have a whole lot of control over what type of, I guess you have a little bit of control. We can do that. Why don't we do that? We go here, and we can, actually we'll delete this here. We'll go back to our area. Oh, that's the hostages. We'll go back to our helicopter area here. And we will create the helicopter. We'll put a support requester. This basically says who's going to be the person who has the access to. Anyone you sync to this can request support. Helicopter transport limit none. We're going to sync that to the commander and also all of our squad leads, right? And then we're going to create a helicopter transport virtual. The vehicle type, we're going to go to this helicopter. We're going to right click it and go to edit, or sorry, log classes to clipboard. Basically, that just copies the class name. And then go into here, and the class name is going to be, sorry, I hate how it, yep, cool. And I think it needs to be in, it needs to have quotes. And then you can run some init on it if you want to. It's going to be, I don't filter by size, it's weird. And then availability delay. And then all you have to do is sync that to the requester module. So that's the easiest way to do it. So now when I play single player, I will get access to this right away. And all I have to do is use the support menu. The support menus or support units are now on standby, right? And all I have to do is go to 0 supports helicopter transport and call in a helicopter, which I think it technically spawns wherever you put the module down. I'd have to look at that. That's why it spawned right above us, right? And then it's got this very easy to use system. Once he lands, come on. Got the very easy to use system where when whoever requested it gets in, it says basically where would you like the unload position. You go and you click a spot on the map, and then it just works. That's the easiest way to do it. So for instance, look, we got our mission, go rescue the hostages. For instance, if we restart this, right? Let's say we use our already set up helicopters that are at base, right? And we use them to infill. We end up in the AO. Go Zeus. We end up in the AO. Well, we also end up underwater. We're super badasses, and we kill all the bad guys all so well. We're killing them left and right. Doing a great job. Okay, all the bad guys. Where's this guy at? Why is there a HQ unit there? That's weird. Okay, whatever. He's dead too. Okay, so we're good to go. We've done so well. We're just the best. And then now we come in. Right. Oh. I don't know what we just... Did it just finish our task? Oh, that's interesting. I don't know why that worked. But then we grab our guys. Right. Come on. Come on, lady. Don't worry, our oh no, we won't have to worry about the counterattack or whatever. Okay. Grab that, and then I can go out here. Supports. Look up transport. Call it in. I think it spawned it way... Yeah, it spawned it way over there. So I will probably put that module, like, over the ocean or something like that, you know? And that's just the easiest way. Like, I don't have to do anything. As a mission creator, I literally just get the benefit of all these modules. And now I can wait for Mr. Helicopter to get here. Oh, he's having struggles. He is on the struggle bus. We're going to help him along a little bit. Let's see if we can do this without crashing him. Okay, cool. Okay. These guys' orders to do whatever. Putting the spawn for the where's he going now? Sir? Oh, sorry. I guess when I moved him, it also moved his task, whatever. Come on. Don't have all day. We're trying to show the people how to make a mission. Okay, here it goes. Yay. Our savior. I like how that guy just like crumpled down. That's hilarious. Okay. He's landing super far away for some reason. That reminds me. I need to remember, or I need to remind you guys about how we can put landing pads places, but let's say he landed actually right here. Cool. I can tell all these guys to get in there. No! No, he really wants to land in that one spot, huh? He didn't like the spot that I told him to land at. Okay. Okay, buddy. That's fine. Tell them all, get in the helicopter, right? Cool. Oh, I guess we're at the AO now. Whatever. And then we get in and we fly out. Hopefully that makes sense. We would have completed the mission differently, but anyway. Let's go ahead and fix that up because it's bugging me. But Operation Rescue the Dudes and Dudettes. So we'll take this helicopter transport virtual. And we'll bring it all the way over here so it spawns, like, I don't know, over the water somewhere. A couple clicks away. Like, come from the south. Okay. And then... That was weird that the... Oh, did I synced to the wrong trigger, that's why. I have the set task state synced to the wrong trigger, so we're gonna actually sync that to a different... We're gonna sync this here and here. Another thing that we can do is that we can have that's actually not a bad idea to show you guys. So let's say we want to have it to where it's like find or rescue the guys, right? Like we can have it to where this set task state goes to an empty trigger, and the empty trigger will just be checking for hostages rescued is equal to true, right? Okay. Server only. And set task state. Cool. Good to go. And then we can put in all of the hostages. We can put whenever they're whenever they complete like code complete here or whatever, we can put hostages rescued equals true, and then public, how's public variable work? I'm going over time now, but I really want to make this work. Public variable and it's broadcast a public variable basically that says, yep, this is true. Now this would work for basically, this means that anytime that any hostage is rescued, it would make it complete rather than checking for all four. But you could also do separate, so you'd be like hostage 1 rescued equals true, and then hostage 1 rescued, right? Like, in fact, we'll do that. We'll go this. Okay. We'll go, how many were there? 4, right? We'll go here. Oh, that's right. We did it for all of them, didn't we? So we'll go hostage 2. Hostage, this is hostage 4. We changed this for all of them. That's why you're seeing it on all of them. Hostage 4. Okay, and hostage 3 should be the last one. So once we do this, then we can go change our trigger to just check for these global variables. Hostage 3. This trigger, we go hostage 1 rescued equals true, and we go all 4 of those. So hostage 1 rescued equals true, hostage 2 rescued equals true, hostage 3 rescued equals true, hostage 4 rescued equals true. And then we can have another task. We could just copy this create task module here. Oh, no. Create task, paste it. And we could say, we can call this one Xfill. And we have this currently in created here. And then we can do another set task state here as set this to assigned, right? And then we can also sync that to the trigger, sync this task state. So what this does now is this trigger's waiting to see that we've turned all of hostage 1, hostage 2, rescued, hostage 3, rescued, hostage 4, rescued equal to true. And once we do that, it's going to light off this trigger. That trigger will set the rescue hostages, find and rescue hostages to succeeded, and then set the exfil task to set that test state to assigned. And then we can copy this and grab another one, and we can set the task state to succeeded once we do the actual end scenario one. So we will then connect that, sync that to this. So basically, the way it works is that this starts out as a created but not assigned task. It just exists. Find the hostages and rescue them, and then exfil. This one will start as assigned, but then once you find the hostages, it will kick off this create or set task state module to succeeded, thus making this one succeeded. But then it will set the exfil one automatically to assigned, and then after that, it will sit there and wait until this trigger, the end scenario trigger, goes off. And once that happens, it will set the task state to succeeded. So we can do one last test. Everything else should be working. We're going to set this create task to here, and then I don't know where we'll set this task to. That's fine. If we save it, everything should now be, this should be a fully functional mission for players to do a very basic hostage rescue. It's still the wrong time of day. I'm just going to change that a little bit because it's a little more fun to do at night. General Intel. So we want to go, where is it? I don't know how to get there other than clicking this button here. We want to make it a little later. Cool, excellent. Save. Cool. And now we have this mission that's basically multiplayer ready. This has everything you need in the mission, and we created it in a little over 2 hours. It's like a little under 2.5 hours. But I start, I go, I go here, I hop in my helicopter takes off, infills me. Oh, one other thing we forgot to do. Sorry. One other thing we forgot to do is we got to put a helipad somewhere in here where it's reasonable for a helicopter to land. Like, this area is probably... there's an invisible helipad. If you search helipad, you look for invisible. Put that in an area where a helicopter should be able to land. It's not going to be perfect, but it should be pretty good. Because the helicopter's going to try really hard to land there, and if you mess it up, then it could be a problem. Well, I think we're good here. So we're going to set it here, and they tend to try to land the way that it's aimed. So that helps so that when the players call in an exfil, you can verify... Oh, yeah, I messed up. I also want to do one more, or a couple more helipads out in the area where we get infilled, sorry. Invisible helipads. So we have a little more control over where they actually land. It's not been too bad, but we'll grab empty. I was going to copy and paste the invisible one, so copy. This area is good. Paste. And then another one for this other helicopter. Paste. Cool. So now it's got a place to land. Play the scenario. We'll do one last run through of it. So we're all set up. We're going to hop in here. We're going to get in. Start mission. Helicopter's going to bring us in. We should have currently 2 objectives. Find the hostage, find and rescue the hostages, right? And then exfil, which is not currently assigned. We're going to fly our way in. It's going to take a minute, so we'll take a second to look at each other. My plan is to save this file and zip it up, and I will put it in the game dev. If you go to our Discord, which I'm going to put a link in chat right now to, it's also discord.gg/UselessFodder for anyone watching the VOD. If you go there and go in the game dev channel, I'm going to post a zipped version of this mission file, as well as the PDO for it, which I'm going to export before we go, a multiplayer export. This is a fully functional mission. In fact, I might just do a little bit more. Oh, by the way, he should land exactly where we put him. exactly where we told him to land. He should go right over that helipad. Like, it should be front right. It should be front right in front of him. Is he gonna do it? Yep, there we go. And helipad, okay. Good job. We would hold here. The helicopter takes a little bit of time and then runs off. We're gonna run up. We're gonna you know, be Billy Badass and teleport ourselves up here, and like all of these bad guys are gonna suddenly start just dying because they've got bad, I don't know, not taking care of themselves. They got some bad food in the camp. Okay, we're done. So we can teleport Zeus up here. I don't know where these guys are at. That concerns me. Oh yeah, they're way off in the mountains. Okay, the Hilux is going to start coming this way, but we'll not worry about it for now because we've got everything we need to, right? We're gonna go grab the hostages. No problem. The Hilux, no problem at all. Grab our hostages. Okay. Head up here. I bet the Hilux ends up killing us during our test. Okay. Okay. So this should... Hey, task completed. We rescued the hostages. Now we have to exfil. So then what we can do... Go out here, use our super mind powers to destroy this. Okay. And then... Hit 0, go to support, helicopter transport, right? Call it in right here. Call it in over here, actually. We want a UH-60M. One should have been spawned. Yep, just to our south, so it's a lot closer. Area looks pretty cool with the campfire and stuff. Okay. Oh, here comes our helicopter transport. He's gonna look for an area to land. We gave him a nice area to land right over here. Let's see if he uses it. If he's smart, he'll use it. Yep. So he's landing right on our helipad. I can tell our boys to get in. Hop in, boys. We're getting out of here. That's interesting. I wonder why it's complete the moment they get in the helicopter. That's very weird. That's but whatever. It works. They got in the helicopter, they're ready to get the heck out of there. We have completed a mission. So we have a fully functional mission. I'm gonna delete this this thing here. We have a fully functional mission that we can go scenario, export to multiplayer. I could put this on my server right now, and me and the boys could hop on and play it. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll have a good time. It's not perfect. It doesn't have a ton of bells and whistles, but it has everything you can need. And I mean, if you think about it, prepping a Zeus mission takes this long. Building out like this is not a complex mission, but it has everything that a lot of people really want, right? Got a nice little infill. It's kind of cool. You've got different enemy types that are, you know, in buildings. You got to do a little bit of CQB. You got people who are up on mountains. You know, you've got to do a little bit of terrain. You got to rescue this is not this isn't just like go there, kill all the enemies. Like, there's a little bit more to it, and we got all this done in just a couple hours. So I'm really pleased with this. I hope that you guys liked it as well. Like I said, come join us at discord.gg/UselessFodder. If you want to ask questions about making missions, you want to check out what the mission file in here looks like. I'll also attach the mod list I used on it. And or if you're just looking for people to come play games with, hang out, have a good time. We have a 1,000-person strong Discord. The FoddSquad is what I'm trying to build with all of the content, everything like that. I want to have more people to come and hang out with. It's not just a gaming group. It's not just a group of people to play games or video games or build missions or whatever. It's a group of people from all over the world, different backgrounds, different walks of life, coming together for a common cause of building camaraderie amongst each other, like finding the humanity in each other, finding out each other's hopes, dreams, desires, and being there for each other, being there, having each other's backs, getting to know each other at a very human level. We've had a ton of success for the last 6.5 years now in the community, and I love it, and I'd love to have more and new people, new blood coming in, bringing their experiences and their backgrounds, and teach us about their side of the world. While we get to hang out and BS and have a good time playing video games. I'm always free for asking questions. You can @ me on Twitter, Blue Sky, wherever you want to do if you have more questions. Obviously, feel free to put comments in the VOD down below. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this. Hopefully it was helpful. If there's anything you didn't understand, please let me know. I want to run some more of these workshops. Maybe I do a little better job announcing beforehand. Maybe like once a month we'll do a workshop like this where we just build a mission, come up with different ideas. If you have an idea for the next one, I'd love to have that in the comments or in the Discord. But yeah, I just love the idea of being able to put together something really cool in just a few hours. This is ready for, you know, a moderately sized unit, up to 20 people to play, and I think it would be a fun op to do. If you had full 20 people, this might end up being a little bit easy, but even still, like, it's nice. It took a couple hours, and you would get at least an hour's worth of enjoyment out of it, and it's pretty cool. And of course, once you grab the scenario files and pull them into Editor, you could then add more. I wanted to add another objective, maybe over in what's this first town that we fly by? Eponia, where you have to go communicate, either beat up a rebel leader or find an informant, something like that, who gives you the actual location. Like, that would be cool. That's the sort of stuff that you can keep adding on. So in another 2 hours, you could have doubled the size of the mission, doubled the length of it. So with that, guys, I'm going to call it. It's 10:45. I got to go to bed. I really appreciate you being here. Check out the Discord. If you have a couple bucks you want to toss my way, you know, I am on Patreon, patreon.com/UselessFodder. I use that to pay for all the server hosting bills, everything like that. And so, yeah, thanks, Alias, for sticking around. I know a lot of our guys that we had earlier have gone off to bed. So I really like this. I had a really fun time, and I'd like to do more in the future with